Too cold out to be practicing outside. It's also dark outside. 7:30 p.m. So we're watching our offense currently take the field. They're impressing some more scouts today, and we're having a great time. Our students, they earned the right to come here to Ames, Iowa to practice at Jack Trice, and now we're practicing in front of a lot of scouts from Division I schools, and we're going to run our offense to make sure we are to perfection starting the Graphic Edge Bowl on Sunday. Watching some of the offensive play calls that this Triton offensive mindset is working through. Right now, the offensive wide receivers, they're running through their routes, a lot of fade routes we see in the system, and a lot of slants. Short passes are going to be key and ideal in Monroe's defense, as we are going to attack them all day long on the ground and through the air. Monroe, they struggle a little bit in the flat, so we're going to see a lot of dump-offs, more than likely, during the bowl game. That's definitely one of those things where time will tell how their defense will change, or if they'll be the same team heading into the bowl game on December 5th. And we're finally here. I've made it to the Unidome with the Iowa Central Tritons, what we've been waiting all week for. First, starting Fort Dodge, Iowa. Then we made a trip over to the Ames indoor facility, and now we're in the place to be. The date is set. I'm ready for some more college football and the final game of the season for the Iowa Central Tritons.
It's bowl season. Welcome football fans to the NJCAA Graphic Edge Bowl here at the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. The number 10 Iowa Central Tritons take on the number 6 Monroe College Mustangs for the Graphic Edge Bowl trophy. The only other time in school history these two squared off was back in 2018, where the Tritons defeated the Mustangs 34-20 in a shocker of an ending. You're listening to Hank Ambrose alongside Wright Hippler on Triton Nation Network. Wright, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing just fine today, Hank. It's great to be here.
I cannot wait to go here in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Folks, if you didn't know, Coach Jesse Montalto is undefeated in all 3 of his prior Graphic Edge appearances as the Triton head coach. I got a chance to go through their practice regimen last week to see if the streak stays alive for the Tritons. That's what we saw at the beginning of the video, and here's kickoff. Here we go. As Iowa Central Tritons, they're going to start first with the ball, as we're going to see Baal Kone return it back to the 30-yard line, starting at near the 5. Triton's going to take over officially on the 30-yard line. It's a 1st and 10, 14 minutes and 52 seconds to go. Let's go. I'm so excited to cover this game. We got football in December, baby. Let's go, right?
Gotta love football in December. It's always great to be playing in December, especially in college.
And what a beautiful venue. This is actually the first time in over 2 years either of these teams are playing in a dome, because, well, actually the first time since Monroe's playing in a dome, to matter of fact, because they haven't played since the Unidome Graphic Edge Bowl back in 2018, and since the Graphic Edge Bowl was held over in Fort Dodge, Iowa last season due to COVID-19. That was the reason for it. So here we go from the first play from the gun. Byron Jarrett going to hand off to Bodie. He's going to run an inside zone up the middle, break a tackle, and push forward for a gain about 8. Putting the Tritons on the 40-yard line officially on their own side.
You know, Hank, looking at stats earlier before the game, noticed that their Monroe's ground game defense-wise has been proficient all year long. I mean, so far, or throughout the entire year, they've only allowed 636 rushing yards in 10 games, and that's against 1,602 rushing yards of their own.
As we look down at the second play, they run from the same formation. They had doubles on the weak side, a lone receiver on the far right. They hand off to Dalen Bodie. Back-to-back ball carries. That time he's going to be blasted near the line of scrimmage. They're not going to put it down as a loss of 1. To me, it looked close. They're going to keep it at a 3rd and 1 on the 40-yard line. Right? Going ahead.
There's that great rushing defense again. Like I said, they're going to be proficient all game, and Iowa Central's really going to have to focus on their ground game if they think they're going to get anything going.
This is a game that's going to go down from the offensive performance. These are two top 10 quarterbacks in the nation. Byron Jarrett, he's our starter as he's going to hand off once more to Bodie. Back to back to back, running from blue as he trips over himself on the 50-yard line. That's going to be a factor in this game, right?
Absolutely.
It takes a huge different momentum swing when it comes down to running on the turf indoor facility compared to any other turf that they've gone and played on in the NJCAA.
Absolutely. I can tell you from firsthand experience, playing on turf is so much different than playing on real grass, especially cleats-wise. You really have to be careful of where you're putting your footing at and where you take your cuts and jump cuts at, because if you take one, you put your leg out too far, you're going to slip up every single time.
Yeah. And that burns, too, to get that turf burn.
Oh, that turf burn. Turf burn is terrible.
Okay. So we're looking at 13 minutes remaining in the first quarter. First pass was completed to Cal Wiedemann as he picked up about 8. It's going to be a 2nd and 2 near the Monroe 40. Byron Jarrett back to pass. He's going to have to step up, trying to avoid pressure, but the line collapses, and so does Big Blue. He's going to fall down back to where they originally started with the football. So it'll be a 3rd and 9 on the 49.
He did have an open receiver out there on the left side in the flat. He just didn't quite see him. He had his eyes pointed towards the right side of the field. If he would have tilted his head just a little bit, he would have had a completed pass, maybe 5-6 yards.
So here we go. We're 1 for 1 on 3rd down conversion. Now it's a 3rd and long, a 3rd and 9 officially on our own 49. Trips out to the strong side, doubles on the weak. DJ, he's going to stand alone in the pocket. Let's see what they run here. As they get a man jumping, and it would have been called down, as more than likely it's going to be called down as a false start on the defense side. Unless our left tackle jumped. Might have been Max.
They will call it on the defense, and I have to make a point. I saw this stat line before the game, and it's absolutely insane to me. The Monroe College Mustangs averaged, so far this year, per game, 108.6 yards worth of penalties. 108 per game. So far this year, they have 111, counting that one, 112 yards, or 112 penalties for 1,089 yards of penalties. It's absolutely insane. The biggest stat line I've ever seen.
And that's a possible reason where they've held them out of the top 4, because this Monroe team, they're undefeated. As the Tritons, they've only lost to one team, and it's the #1 team in the nation, the Iowa Western Reavers. They've lost to them twice. We share the ICAC conference with them. We're going to be actually switching to the Jayhawk conference this upcoming season as we see a 1st down called in by Desna Washington. Byron Jarrett going to be back in the gun. We have Cal Wiedemann. He's in a blocking back formation. They're going to hand off to Bodie. Bodie makes some bodies fly and spins his way forward to the 30, maybe the 29-yard line on the Monroe side.
The fact that Iowa Central's been able to push down the field with the ball, mostly running the ball this first offensive drive, really tells you how they're trying to set the pace for this game, because they know how tough that Monroe defense is, especially rushing-wise. Their passing defense, their secondary is not, it's not pristine. It hasn't been throughout the entire season. But they've really got the run game down, and as long as Iowa Central can keep pushing down the field, putting the ball on the ground, putting it in the air consistently, I think that this game is a no contest.
Once more, we saw Cal Wiedemann involved in the offense. That's the 2nd reception of the game thus far as he passes 10 yards. As he brings it close to another Triton 1st down. It's a 3rd and very short. As Pee-wee tries to jump him offside, they're going to have to call an audible from the sideline. Smart move by Coach Montalto and the boys in blue. Doubles on the strong side. We see Wiedemann in at a blocking back. Bodie's also in the tailback. He's going to hand off to, Bodie got close. Max McCree is who tried to set the block down. It's going to be close, right? I don't know. Did you get a better sight than me?
I couldn't quite tell. It looks like they're probably going to come out for a measurement here. They might just call it 4. And I think that warrants bringing the chains out on the field. Because it's right there. And it looks like they are going to bring the chains out onto the field. That's going to be a close one. I'm not sure. Now, you have to think about the Tritons aren't. I mean, they're close. They're very, very close to field goal range. Watching their kicker during warm-ups, he was missing a few from long, he was missing a few from short. He didn't look like he was having his best day in warm-ups. But we'll see if the Tritons get another chance here.
Our kicker is Colin Swigman. He has been a multiple-time ICAC Special Teams Player of the Week. We also have a great long snapper, Chase Whitner.
They'll give it to him on the first down, just inches. So the Tritons will have another chance here.
That's a third first down conversion.
Third first drive on the first offensive drive of the game. You know what I think it is, Hank? I think they're playing so well because of those uniforms. That baby blue and white with the white helmets.
Yeah. Very nice. 10.5 minutes remain. The clock is still scrambling down. This is the 9th play of the drive. Shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers spread out wide. We're going to see Wills go in motion. It's going to be a handoff back to Bodie. Bodie running in his blue uniform. He's going to pick up nearly 5 and bring it past the red zone area. And the Tritons, for the first time today, approach Monroe College's red zone. Whew, it's getting sweet up here.
Already on the first drive, I can't believe how well they're driving the ball down the field. As I said, looking at stats, I didn't think that Iowa Central was going to be able to get anything done in the run game today, but they've been throwing it, they've been running it. Everything has worked so far.
They're going to stop it on the field. Look like Monroe going to burn the first timeout of the game here. So I tell you what, folks, we're going to keep it right here. We're going to talk a little bit about this game and what it means to both sides. This is the first season that the NJCAA, they changed their playoff format. In the past, it's just been number 1 versus number 2. This year, they switched to something more like the NCAA, where they see the top 4 teams go into a 2-round playoff system. Now that we are in that, the Tritons, of course, they're ranked number 10 on the season in the whole nation. Monroe College, even though they haven't lost, they're ranked number 6. A big reason they could be not ranked in the top 4 despite being undefeated is probably, like you said earlier in the broadcast, very good point, right, about those penalties that they've given up all year round.
It's crazy to me. I've never seen a stat so insane. You know, in this same stadium last year, the the semifinals for 8-man football, it was Montezuma High School versus Martinsdale St. Mary's. No, it was Remsen St. Mary's. They played a game. It ended 111 maybe to 98. That was a crazy stat line too. But this penalty stat line is just absolutely insane to me.
Here we go as we're looking down. Byron Jarrett, he's going to pivot pass as he tried to hit.
Fumble. Oh.
Yeah, he tried to swing it on over to Dalen Bodie, who's wide open. He just ran with the ball before Dalen Bodie could catch it. That's what happened there. It's going to stay at a 3rd down. This is going to be play number 11 of this drive at 9 minutes, 41 seconds remain.
That shovel pass would have been, I mean, easy another 10, 15 yards if he wouldn't have dropped that. I thought he maybe had fumbled it, but the refs seemed to have think that he didn't have control of it before it dropped on the ground.
So we're looking right now. The clock is stopped. 9 minutes, 41 seconds remain. It's a 3rd down and 5 inside Monroe's red zone on the 23-yard line. Let's see what the Tritons try to pull off here. They've been in 3 third down conversion situations already. They can do it. Go 4 for 4. They got a guy lined up in the slot. It's Jordan Cum. Byron Jarrett going to roll out.
Open.
Yes, sir. They're going to find Cum. So right when I announced him, in the slot, he ran a beautiful out route with those stutter steps, butterfly abilities, and he's going to mark the Iowa Central Tritons up inside the 15.
As you said, Hank, it's great to see, it's great to see that Iowa Central is already in the red zone on their first offensive drive of the game. I don't think at this point that their offense is going to be a problem anymore. I think what it's going to come down to is playing really, really good defense against this high-scoring Monroe offense. Monroe averages 39.5 points per game up to this point, and their opponents only average 13.6 points per game. And that points deficit comes out to 395 to 136, which is, you know, it's sort of average, but it's equivalent to a 10-0 team. I just don't know if Iowa Central is going to be able to, you know, tip the scales on that a little bit as we come up to a 1st and 5 now off of maybe a neutral zone infraction penalty or an offsides here.
Yeah, it was an offside. That's going to bring them forward 5 yards. Now the Tritons, they're inside the 10, a 1st and 5. Byron Jarrett, RPO, going to hand off. Here we go.
One-handed snag.
That was Cal Wiedemann. Cal Wiedemann. 3rd catch of the day. First time they ran the RPO offense all game long. Inside the 10-yard line, they just had to reach up and grab it. Got the one hand working for them. Way to go, Iowa Central Tritons. They go up by 6 points. 9 minutes and 5 seconds remain in quarter number 1. And folks, that was a 12-play drive that went 70 yards. Oh my goodness, right?
70 yards. Now, we're getting into NFL type stats territory. They're driving the ball all the way down the field. You know, they're not, trying to chuck the ball up 60 yards in the air. They're just playing it slow, playing it steady, trying to get, yard by yard, inch by inch, just trying to move it down the field. They're not taking any huge risks yet. So we'll see how this game pans out and see if they continue to, play that low-risk style of play, or maybe when they get up by a few touchdowns, we'll see if they start to, take a little bit bigger risks and start to throw the ball all the way down the field, or start to throw those pitches to the outside, and maybe they can get something going big in the air there.
Yep, and as we see the first score being made by the Iowa Central Tritons, 7-0 as the Tritons started with the ball. This could be cruise control all the way through. Let's see how their defense prepares for this upcoming debut against one of the highest scoring offenses in the whole NJCAA.
So Monroe here, as we get closer to this kickoff, Monroe averages this year only 19.14 yards per kickoff return, which is a fairly low stat. And Iowa Central averages 20.5 yards, which, I mean, you're getting up there with it, but 19.5 or 19.1 is just not a whole lot.
And the reason being is Monroe gets up and scores very early, so for the rest of the game, their teams either onside kick or squib kick it to them for the rest of the game, yeah.
Well,
so that's that 19-yard just because they can't really get it going. Regardless, here's Colin Swigman's kick. It is up, and it's going to be pinned back deep into the woods. Let's see if they return. No. Well, folks, I tell you what, we got a sideline reporter for the broadcast for you folks today. It's going to be Lauren Potter on the call, so we're going to flip it on over there to Lauren, so go on ahead. We're back here as thank you much, Lauren, for the sideline report. Yeah, it's going to be huge. Coach Young going to have to step up in a huge way. Now, he's actually coached some national championship teams, so this is not unfamiliar territory for our star defensive back coach and Coach Young. Coach Conley is a huge loss. He brings a lot to this defense, calling the audibles, but we got to do what we got to do, right?
You know, I see Sheldon Applewhite there starting at the quarterback's position for, for Monroe. He did not take a single snap of offense in the pregame. The entire pregame, it was the freshman quarterback Roman Purcell out of Bedminster, New Jersey, who was taking all of the offensive snaps, and we couldn't quite figure out what was going on there, why Applewhite was giving up his snaps, but he seems to be out there and starting. I wondered if they maybe were running sort of a wildcat formation and trying to practice that, but we're up on a 2nd down and 4 now.
Here we go, 2nd and 4, Applewhite back to pass, running the fade route, and it's good. Put it on a dime and swing it all the way out there. That time it got sent over towards their wide receiver, LaMarcus Brand, the freshman out of Georgia.
You know, that's the biggest play of this game so far, and this game has just started, but we really got to work on our secondary and try to figure out how to stop those big plays from happening. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you, they have more speed than we do. We've just got to figure out our man-to-man coverage and our zone coverage and see if we can try to control those plays and keep those wide receivers down more towards the flat if we can.
Well, hey, the Tritons, they have all sophomore defensive backs in the lineup, and they are numero uno in the nation in creating turnovers. We've seen C.J. Christian and Deontay Nelson, our starting safety and second-string cornerback. They have 3 interceptions on the year, and our outside linebacker, Bryant Barrier, he joins them with 3 as well, and that is tied for 4th amongst many others in the NJCAA.
After that big, long throw, or wasn't huge, but after that, you know, decent-sized throw down the field, they'll take a tackle for loss, and that'll bring up 2nd and 14 now for Monroe.
2nd and 14, 7.5 minutes remain in quarter number 1 as the Tritons, they look to stop them once more. It's a play-action pass. Screen sent over to their same receiver. We're looking and finding that Brand may be Applewhite's favorite target in this one.
You know, looking at stats before the game, he does have the most receiving yards so far this year. He does lead the team in receiving yards as well as yards after catch. So he's a very agile, very athletic, you know, kid playing out there. third down and 3. We'll see what they do here if they're going to run it. I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of play action.
This sets a tone for the rest of the game. First third down conversion for a team. This could really bring your confidence up or low, and it's going to be no good as they lose 2 yards off of a read option as Bryant Barrier and Noah Epley, who leads the team in tackles with 65, make it 66 on the season, is going to be there first to bring Shelton Applewhite down, and we'll see Monroe College be forced to punt.
Absolutely. Gotta love a sack on third down on the first defensive drive of the play. You love to see that. We'll see if we can keep that tone here the entire game.
As a punt is up, back deep to return, Jordan Cum. Cum going to let it take a bounce. It takes a Monroe bounce. Going to bounce inside the 15 and roll around before a defensive back jumps on it. It's going to be number 31, Shawan Gresham out of KD, Texas.
We'll see where they're going to spot the ball at. Looks like they're going to spot it right around
the 14, it's looking
13 and a half yard line.
So now that's a 20-yard difference from the first time we started our drive, right? As the Tritons originally started on the 30-yard line, now we're going to be back towards the 14. I think they can still do it, knowing our first drive went for 12 yards and counted over 5 minutes, nearly 6 minutes off the clock. As we're looking at the Tritons now, they're lining up in the pistol formation, doubles on the weak side. As Wiedemann, he's in it blocking back as a mixed tight end. As we're going to see a handoff, and we're going to get blown up at the line of scrimmage, but luckily Dalen Bodie, within second effort, might have got back to the line of scrimmage. As I'm looking at the line judge, they're saying he had a loss of at least 2, maybe 3.
That's what it's looking like down there. I couldn't quite tell. We're at a little bit of a weird angle up here, but I didn't quite think he lost 3 yards on that play. But
as their linebacker, did you hear that? Warner got the tackle, and
Yes,
as we know, Kurt Warner played college here. He's a Hall of Fame NFL quarterback, for all that you know. Here we go, back to the drill. Byron Jarrett, he's back to pass. Looking for maybe a swing pass. He's going to step up in the pocket. Here we go, call zone number. Byron Jarrett might have got back to the line of scrimmage, but they had a quarterback spy on him coming in for the tackle. That time it was number 44, Zorwell Walker, the redshirt sophomore from Meade Undunton.
watching Iowa Central play, it seems to be the case where their offense tends to be more confident in better field position right off the start.
Yeah.
And that's the case for a lot of football teams. When they start out their drive, deep back within their own 10, within their own 20, it gets hard, and their confidence kind of dwindles a little bit rather than starting on 35, 40-yard line.
Byron Jarrett, now he's slinging it deep. Here we go, and it's going to be hauled in for a catch. Is it Harris? Yes, sir, it is. He's going to make a man swivel. It's a juke move.
Not only did he make his man swivel, he had that corner defensive back switching sides. He had him doing 360s on the field and added another 15 yards after that catch and it's going to get called back for holding.
It was a 60-yard bomb, would have been the call.
No.
About 30 yards in the air, and that's a gut punch.
Absolutely.
As Coach Justice Clegg, our offensive line coach, not going to be happy about that one. Going to have to come back. But I tell you what, that was a 60-yard bomb. Why don't we just do it again?
Exactly. Nothing that we've seen so far throughout this game, that 12-play drive for 70 yards and a touchdown, nothing we've seen so far says that Iowa Central cannot do that 2 times in a row.
So score going to remain the same, 7-0. 4 minutes, 45 seconds remain, and now the Tritons are back deep in their own end zone. It's going to be a 3rd and near 20. Ball going to be marked on the 8-yard line officially. Let's see what the Tritons come out in. Don't be surprised if Byron tries to get him to jump off sides. He's going to be lone in the backfield, trips on the weak side, 2 wide receivers stand alone on the strong. Byron trying to get a jump. Back to pass, sniffing his own zone, and he's going to hand it on over towards Cal Wiedemann. And that was just a little koosh pass if you played koosh over in middle school. On your first day of middle school, passing around, getting to know each other. That's exactly what that was all about. Spreading the love with the football between Byron Jarrett and Cal Wiedemann.
Oh, yeah. Iowa Central, it looks like, they didn't go for the big pass. They didn't go for, the slant route over the middle, the deep fade or anything like that. They took a check down pass, and they realized that they don't necessarily need to score on this drive. They're up 1 touchdown. There's still 4.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. They're sitting comfortably, and at this point, I think, Montalto would rather have them punt the ball away, rather than try to take a big risk and throw it down the field on, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 16.
As Coney's punt, it's going to be muffed, and Major Williams going to race down there. The special team man himself going to go down there like a flying crane as he signals all the way down there. Folks, you're going to want to stick around until after the first quarter, because I actually got to sit down with Major Williams and CJ Christian, two of our safeties that are studs, huge contributors and huge captains for the Iowa Central Tritons. I sat with them about preparation for the bowl game and talked a little bit about their season as well. That's going to be after the first quarter. But we still have 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Applewhite and Monroe College going to be set up on their own 31-yard line. They'll work left to right on your video screen. As I'd like to shout everyone out, coming out, tuning into the broadcast on Triton Nation's YouTube channel. Thank you for all you do for us. As Applewhite, he's going to go back to pass. He's going to pull Byron Jarrett, firing long. Major Williams in and out of his hands.
Close to a pick there.
Very close, and if you do that again, it's going to be Major Williams Island. He's going to pick it off.
There's no chance. Major Williams will pick that ball off every time. It was almost an interception right in and out of his hands, like you said, Hank. And Major Williams is, one of the many stars of this Iowa Central defense, and they just continue to shine game after game.
He was a guy that originally was recruited to go and play at Virginia at the Division I level, decided to take his talent to Iowa Central, and here we go with the run. They're going to fake it all the way to the right and leave a man wide open. Deontay Nelson with the blown coverage, going to try to track him down. He will, and push him out of bounds. Wow, but a flag will be thrown down near the 20. Possible block in the back called.
Touchdown saving tackle by Deontay Nelson there.
Troy Booker was the ball carrier, by the way, folks.
We'll see what the call is if it is a block in the back. Tends to be on those big, long runs when you've got a flag down by the end of the run. It's usually going to be a block in the back.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Unsportsmanlike after the play was called.
After the play.
I thought I saw the flag was thrown even before, so maybe it was during the play. Regardless, same situation. We're going to stick with a first down and 10 for Monroe College. Let's see how many yards they bring them back. I don't know if they're going to spot them where necessarily the foul happened on the sideline. More than likely going to just bring them back 15 to 20 yards from the original spot of the foul, and that's what they'll do. I'm going to say about 15.
And that's where that 108 yards of penalties comes in. Those are the types of penalties that can be prevented, should be prevented, and should be taught not to happen. You get, the players are excited on the sideline for the big run. They yell out a few things that you probably shouldn't say in front of a ref, and then those types of things happen.
So here we go. We're going to see another handoff, another inside zone going straight back to their running back, Troy Booker. Not going to work out that time. They did a really good job at running a counter. What we're going to see very often from the Triton defense, from what they practice over the week, is that we know Monroe College, they like to play the flats. They love to do RPO offense and run and pass to the outside, little short dump-off passes. So far, we've seen them stick to that a little bit. They're going to have to do a good job at defending against the inside counter zone. 7-0, 3 minutes, 5 seconds remain in quarter number one. Applewhite trying to drive his guys down for the first score of the game on the Monroe Mustang side. We only have one safety back deep. It's CJ Christian. Applewhite going to step back, and he'll throw. Hit stick from Major Williams. That's flicking the right trigger up, sending it down to the turf.
As I see these Monroe, these Monroe offensive drives, I see it as a battle versus Applewhite and Major Williams. Both number 2, both the studs on their respected sides of the ball. What a crazy coincidence that is.
2.5 minutes remain. Going to stay at 7-0. Flag will be thrown. Let's see who it's on. It's going to be looking like the offensive line unit. Applewhite went over to Pat 78's back. I think it is. Correction, 76. Kadeem Willis, the freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina. You can't do that is a Triton crowd section. Going to call out.
Absolutely. And, as my old high school football coach, Jared Burns, would say, that's lack of discipline is what that is. There's no accidents. That doesn't happen. That's lack of discipline. Something like that should never happen. and accidents do happen, you know what I mean? But in Burns' words, accidents don't happen, and that's a lack of discipline.
As we're going to see a little shovel screen being attempted, but racing down there, incomplete pass as Noah Epley was joined alongside number 96 of the Triton defensive line. Not for sure on the jersey number. I'm going to make sure I get it right now. That was Deontay Bryant.
Regardless of that one long pass play down the field, which, of course, ended with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, Monroe has not been able to get anything going, but they are going to go for it here on 4th down and 11.
4th and 11 as they're on the Triton 30-yard line trying to get Deontay Bryant to jump on a hard count. Not going to happen. Trips are spread out to the weak side. A lone wide receiver on the far right. Also, we got a tailback in their formation. Let's see what they do here.
Maybe see a play action pass over the middle here. No play action, but it is a
Verticals.
pass.
Verticals was called by Alcone, was on his own island as he was tracking it down against that wide receiver. Way to go on the coverage. A flag is actually down near the flats. Possible false start on a wide receiver. Defense. Oh. They're saying Deontay Bryant lined up in the neutral zone. It's going to be a replay of the 4th down.
Got to cut those things out too, Hank. That one's not, too detrimental. They will get 5 yards back, but it will still be 4th down. They'll call it about a 4th and 6 now. And I'm assuming that if they went for it on 4th and 11, they're going to go for it on 4th and 6.
Yep.
This year on 4th down, they are 4 for 15, 26.67%.
Trips on the weak side. Going back to passes Applewhite, firing over the middle. Get out of here.
No chance. Make that 4 for 16 now on the year. I'm not sure where he was throwing that ball to, but it was nowhere near a Mustang receiver.
That was a duck right there. That was a whack whack right over there, right over the middle.
Whack, whack.
If you ever played Duck Hunt, the dog would be laughing right in your face.
I think what happened there was not a lack of miscommunication between a receiver and a quarterback. Probably the wrong route ran. It looked like there was supposed to be some sort of slant or post ran there by the inside receiver or outside receiver. Not sure what happened there. Just a little confusion going on, but regardless, it will still be a turnover on downs, and Iowa Central will get the ball back and hopefully put it in the end zone once more.
Set up on their own 25. They will go from their right to the left of your video screen. They're going to send Wiedemann in motion. Here comes a run. Trapping up the middle. It's a halfback slash as he gains maybe 2 yards off of a carry from Bodie. So 7-0, minute and 35 seconds remain, and the clock is still winding down. So far, the Tritons have been great on defense as they have been able to hold one of the best scoring offensive teams in the nation to just 0. That's a big goose egg.
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, 39.5 points per game they're averaging. Right around there. It was like 39.5, 1 or 2 that they're averaging so far this year per game. As I think we're going to get a sack here.
So that was coming down hard within a blink of an eye.
Jarrett will go down for a loss of about 3 here, which is unfortunate. As we said, this defense is quite good. While they average 39.5 points per game on the offensive side of the ball, their opponents average just 13.6 points per game, which can be accredited to an absolutely stellar defense.
Nick Evans got in for the tackle for loss. Shotgun formation, doubles on the strong side. An extra lineman is in motion. Byron Jarrett going to scramble out to his right. Going to have to evade pressure from Harrison. He's going to have to fire towards the sideline as he's knocked out of bounds. It's going to be an incomplete pass. The clock will stop at 32 seconds. Byron Jarrett appears to be okay, but it's looking like the Tritons going to be forced to punt once more.
One thing that you always love to see on the offensive side of the ball is a quarterback who just looks confident out there. And Byron Jarrett does exactly that. Every time he comes up to the center to get that snap, he's got his mojo, he's got his swagger going on. He just looks cool, calm, and collected every single time he goes to take the snap. He doesn't rush things. He goes up there, he knows exactly what he wants to do, and he knows exactly how he's going to execute it every single time.
Scroll down. As we're back here, going to be over the head of Bayal Kone.
Wild snap out of the back of the end zone.
A flag is thrown, and that could have saved the Tritons.
And I believe it will.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Even if it is on us, that will save us from having that snap out of the back of the end zone. So we will get a chance to repunt this ball, regardless if we are, I believe, where are we punting from? I believe they're going to spot the ball right at the, looks like the 17, 18, 17-yard line is where they're going to spot the ball at. So that'll bring up around a 4th down and 19 or so. So we'll see Iowa Central punt the ball away here.
Skone, that's a good snap. He's going to get it a high fly kick. Going to go towards the 35 of Monroe, and they're going to field it down. We're going to see a missed tackle before Garrett Olndike gets there and sends him down with his teammate, Dakari Randall. So now Monroe College, the Mustangs, going to have 16 seconds before the close of the first quarter as the ball is going to be placed on the 33.
Monroe has yet to, figure out things on offense. They have been playing decent defense so far. Other than that first drive of the game, their defense has been pretty well, or they have been playing pretty well. We'll see if they can figure something out. They are on their own 33, so they're not quite backed up as far as Iowa Central just was. We'll see if they can get something figured out on offense here.
Here we go, as we're going to see a pistol formation, a new formation for Monroe College. They're going to hand off with the new tailback as well. Going to be a carry up the middle of the field for about 5 to 6 yards. On the carry, number 26, Ernest Blackshear, a freshman out of Royal Palm Beach, Florida.
Ernest, what an interesting name that is.
And that'll be the end of quarter number 1 as the Tritons are up by 7. They got a lot of momentum heading into this first quarter. 7-0 is the score. 15 minutes remain in the first half. What do you think of the game so far, right?
I think that Iowa Central has outplayed Monroe almost every single snap of the game on offense, on defense. We can't say a whole lot about special teams. We haven't had a whole lot, of special teams to witness yet, other than, so far 2 punts and a couple kickoffs. But each team has got a punt here. Monroe did have a turnover on downs. They really don't go for it on 4th down a whole lot. Like I said, coming into this game, they were 4 and 15 on 4th down at 26.67%, and they're 44 for 101 on 3rd down, which averages out to about 43.5%. But regardless, I'm not sure if Monroe is going to be able to get anything going here with this Iowa Central defense playing as well as it is. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard, so Monroe is going to try to figure something out here. And, I'll be honest with you, I hope they don't. I hope they don't get anything figured out on offense, but we'll see if they do.
Good point. I guess I could double down and share that same likeness with you, right? As we're looking at a 2nd and 4, it's right before the 40-yard line on Monroe's side. And look who's there first. C.J. Christian with the speed, elusive tackle, blissed right through there and got it down for a tackle for loss of just 1 yard, but still a tackle for loss.
Looks like all my wishes are coming true, Hank.
Christmas is early this year.
Christmas came early this year. What would be even better than a stop here on 3rd down?
Stop on 4th down.
A stop on 4th down or an Iowa Central win today.
That would be fantastic. 14.5 minutes remain in quarter number 2. Doubles are on the weak side. It's a pistol formation. We've seen this same formation now a little bit here. Didn't see it in the first 2 drives of the game for Monroe College, and they're going to actually motion the guy down to make it shotgun. Applewhite dish. Going to be a shovel pass. It's going to be sent down by the man with the best hair in all of the Unidome. Bryant Barrier gets his first solo tackle of the day.
They'll give him one, on the sort of shovel pass. That was definitely a broken play. He was just trying to get away from the sack there, Applewhite. The shovel pass will give him 1, and it looks like they are actually going to elect a punt here instead of going for it on 4th down again.
So far, Young stepping in as the defensive coordinator has led up just 0 points in the first quarter. As we're looking at Jordan Cum, he's going to return it. He fielded it near the 18 and then brought it up to about the 30. I think they're going to mark him closer to the 28 or 29-yard line. So the Tritons, they're going to take over on their own side. They're going to move left to right on your video screen, 7-0. 13 minutes, 34 seconds remain. Folks, if you just joined the broadcast, welcome to Triton Nation Network. As you're listening to Hank Ambrose and Wright Hillpiper on the call.
And there was just an unsportsmanlike conduct once again on Monroe. I believe it was on the tackle. Some sort of hit it, like leading with the head below the knees. or at the knees there. Could have been a chop block as well. I'm not sure, but I believe it was
Still waiting on the official call.
against Monroe. It was called unsportsmanlike conduct. I just don't know how they're gonna go about doing this. Where they're gonna spot the ball at here.
Well, they're going to have to sub him out if it's a chop. And they talked it over. I don't see any PA announcement, so it appears we may be going back to football.
How many refs does it take to figure out an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, Hank? Still delegating, and they're going to call it against Iowa Central.
So it'll be half the distance to the goal, and that's a huge swallow.
I'm not even sure what the call was there.
Might have been 2 on the same play, but regardless, let's get back to football. Shotgun formation. Wiedemann is in it blocking back. We see 2 wide receivers spread out wide on the weak side, and 1 stands alone on the right. It's Wills. Byron Jarrett's back to pass. He's looking long. He's got to throw it. Big rocket launcher of an arm.
He's wide.
He's going to try to send it down to Wills. Wills, he's the one that made that huge grab in the first quarter, but it was called back due to the holding call as they try to go back to him, and that time they sniffed it out on defense. That was great defensive coverage by their strong safety, Peyton Edwards.
Just barely underthrown by Byron Jarrett there, and that would have been a very, very good play on the Tritons side of the ball. It was almost picked off. Got very, very lucky there.
Which with the Tritons on the 15, he threw it from about the 8-yard line. He made it all the way to the 40, so that was about a 60-yard pass that traveled through the air. So I don't know how much longer you can throw there. Is that one? That's going to be a collision at the line of scrimmage, sending it down, looking like it's number 44 once again. Their exterior linebacker, Zarrell Walker. That's the second time I've called his name in the contest today. That's the second tackle for loss for the Mustangs.
Hank, I've said it a few times, and I will say it again. The run defense by Monroe has been way, way better than their secondary all year long. That's why, Byron Jarrett is going to get the opportunity to, heave those long passes downfield, as Jarrett is going to try to get Monroe to jump offsides once more, and he won't get it.
Byron Jarrett lined up in the shotgun with Bodie. Trips out to the weak side and a lone receiver on the strong. And they're going to get him.
They'll jump this time.
Well, let's see. Hold on a minute now. We may be moving out back. Uh-oh. Here we go.
They will call it. Oh, boy, Hank.
Tough call. That's going to bring Byron Jarrett back in his own end zone for the second time in the first half. That was called against Max McCree, the only returning sophomore starting offensive lineman from a season ago. As we look down the field, is they're going to take no time to get to the line of scrimmage, looking like they want to call the same play or at least a similar package. But no, they're going to look at a doubles formation, shotgun formation, just 5 linemen out there, 5 against 4. I like our odds.
3rd and 16 from their own 8.
Wiedemann goes in motion, going to fake the outside throw and go down to Bodie. They're going to drag him back. Oh, my goodness, they almost dragged him back to his safety, but they're going to say that since he was stopped near the 5, they're going to just send him out there, and it's going to be a 4th down and very long.
No, not even forward movement there on the offensive side of the ball. Got kind of lucky. They didn't call that a safety there, but whistles were blown before he ever crossed the goal line.
Yep. It's a 4th down and 20 as the Tritons in a bad situation on Sheriff Field by Alcone, the most athletic punter and defensive back in all of the NJCAA. He's going to line up. Now he's got to be really careful from how far he steps back. He won't at all. He's just going to have to boot it forward. It's going to get towards the 50, and it will travel past the 50. What a kick by Kone.
About a 60-yard punt there.
And Wiedemann going to try to track down the receiver. They're going to be in great field position, going to cut off to the other side of the field.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. We got a Triton down as well on the field. Not for sure who it is, but once I see his number, I'll make sure to report it to you folks. It might be Jordan Cum.
No, I don't think so.
Not 3?
I don't think it's him. can't quite tell. I don't see Com on the sideline either, though.
Coach Montalto went out. It was C.J. Christian. C.J. Christian went down. So here we go. It's going to be a first down and 10, and now Monroe. They're going to be set up in the red zone for the first time today. They're going to be inside the Triton red zone, but they actually get a start there.
Not too often you get to start in your opponent's red zone, start your offensive drive in the opponent's red zone.
Now they're moving them back because there was a hold call on the kickoff return, but
scratch that. They will not start in the red zone. Start from about the 42. Still on Iowa Central side of the field, but a little bit further away from the red zone there, which is nice to see.
And C.J. Christian came out for this play. He's going to be on the sideline. As taking his place for this current possession, E.J. Perry.
3 punting drives in a row combined between Monroe and Iowa Central now. Hopefully we get another one here, or maybe a field goal attempt.
11 minutes remain as we're going to run the ball. Monroe going to break the line of scrimmage for a carry of 2 to 3 yards. That's going to place them on the Triton 40-yard line. Exactly 11 minutes to play here in the Unidome in half number 1. It's been a great game thus far. The Tritons, it's been on a bigger defensive battle than I would have guessed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. These offenses have been, both of them have been elite all year long. I didn't think it was going to come down to this low scoring of a game. We are only in the second quarter, but I figured we would have had 2-3 touchdowns on the board by now between both teams.
Applewhite's in the gun, Trips on the weak side, looking like they're running the same type of play that the Tritons like. It's a swing pass, and their wide receiver going to have to cut back over towards the center of the field. He's going to be tackled by Bayal Kone. It was Halim Dixon King, the sophomore slot wide receiver for Monroe College, going to have a pickup of nearly 5 yards. It'll be a 3rd down and 3 placed on the 35-yard line, and they're driving. They got to kick it into second gear if they want this first down. They do. If they do, they're going to be in such great field position. It's going to be a stinger for us Triton fans, right?
Got to get 3 here.
Under 10 minutes remain here in quarter number 2. They're going to bring the Trips receivers out closer to the line of scrimmage, but they're still going to run a play. It's Scat. It's going right down over the center. C.J. Christian. The ball comes out. It's an incomplete pass. The guy that did not get a chance to play any plays in this drive beforehand, he went out due to injury because he was involved on the kickoff team. The exact play he came in, they targeted it over to C.J. Christian. They did not think that C.J. Christian would be ready to play coming back off of a knee injury, and he exactly was. Way to go, C.J.
See Coach Montalto down there waving his arms back and forth, trying to call for an incomplete pass.
Oh.
They'll give him the first down. By rule, they called it a catch and a fumble, and the ball rolled out of bounds. So by rule, they will spot the ball where the ball was fumbled at, not where it went out of bounds, but where it was fumbled at, and they will say that that is enough for a first down.
Oh, man, and that's just the bad end of the stick right there.
Just dumb luck there. They'll pass here, and he'll take off with it and go absolutely nowhere.
Got crushed.
Gotta love those Iowa Central linebackers. You know what they call them? Call them the Sharks.
The Sharks, is
yeah.
that right?
You see, I've seen, Iowa Central linebackers coaches walking around with those, those Shark shirts on, and the linebackers have them too. You see them in the calf all the time.
Yep. As a linebacking unit, and Blake Whaley were there for that stop of no gain. It's going to be a 2nd down and 10 on the 31. Applewhite going to hand off, and he's blasted. It's a fumble. Pick it up. Here we go. It's Tristan Waugh carrying the football.
Yes,
Applewhite's going to have to
sir.
bring him down. The Iowa Central Tritons create the first turnover of the game. They're the number one team in the country doing that, and they're going to prove it in the Unidome in their only sole bowl game today, why they are great at forcing turnovers.
Gotta love those turnovers, especially this early in the game. And, Monroe still has goose egg on that board. We've only got 7 points, to be fair. But if Iowa Central's defense is going to be playing like this all game, I don't think Monroe's got a chance.
And the cherry on top, right? Tristan Waugh carrying the football.
Absolutely.
Now, inside the 5-yard line, he's actually had 3 attempts, and he was robbed of a touchdown earlier this season, so it was a lot of good fun to see him carry the ball once more in this game. Shotgun formation, trips are out to the weak side. A lone wide receiver, it's Harris on the strong side. Back to pass is Jarrett. He's looking long. Going to have to evade pressure. He's rolling out to his right. He will fire to a comeback route. It's Jalen Harris. It looked like he was brought down by the face mask, but looking like a no call as Jalen Harris and their defensive back, Peyton Edwards, share some words. 8.5 minutes remain. The clock is still running, and still is the Triton offense. It's another Triton first down as we see double wide receivers spread out wide. Bodie's also in the gun with Jarrett. It's going to be a little short screen. It's a dump-off screen to Come. Jordan Come's got wheels. He'll be forced out of bounds. It's going to be close to another first down. They may give it to him from where the line is. Yes, the line judge saying another Triton first down. Back-to-back first downs for the boys in blue, and they're cooking with canola oil. 8 minutes, 15 seconds remain in the first half. 7-0 is the score. If you just joined the broadcast, folks, you're listening to Hank Ambrose and Wright Hillpiper on the call. Bodie's in the shotgun with Barrett. Same formation. It's doubles on the strong side. They're going to have to roll out wide with Jarrett. Jarrett's going to be brought down. It's a huge sack. Oh, my goodness. The Tritons beating themselves off from the offensive line unit. That's a tough one.
That defensive back down there for Monroe, number 5. Let's see if I can find his name here. Number 5, Peyton Edwards, down there talking a little bit of smack to the Iowa Central sideline. And I tell you what, as a former defensive back, I can tell you, they talk the most smack of any other position on the entire team. Cornerbacks do.
Here we go. 7.5 minutes remain in the first half. Let's see how Byron attacks these defensive backs. He's going to have a dump off to Bodie, and they're saying his foot stepped out of bounds. A tough call, and I tell you what, Bodie got too big of feet out there running the football, but he's a hard runner, so I tell you what, he's strong. He's in the weight room, so that's going to happen. Stepping out of bounds. 7 minutes, 20 seconds remain in the first half. The Tritons, it's a 3rd down and 12. Ball's marked on the 31-yard line on Monroe's side. One more touchdown, and huge momentum for the Iowa Central Tritons would take into effect.
3rd and 13. I'm going to say a first down here, Hank. It's a bold call.
We'll see. Trips out to the weak side. Jarrett looking long. He's going to step up. He may call his own number. No, he's going to fire over the middle. Interception. Jarrett going to not find the right read. It's going to be picked off. It's running down low. Jarrett going to bring the guy down. He's going to beat himself up over that one. Michael LaFile going to get the interception. He's actually a linebacker from Grand Prairie, Texas.
I tell you what, Hank, I think I'm going to refrain from calling any plays for the rest of the game.
No more predicting from you, right?
No more predictions from me. I'm not sure. I don't even know how that happened. I think I'm just bad luck at this point, Hank.
6 minutes, 48 seconds remain as Monroe College crosses the 50-yard line, and Wright might have to take a lap around the broadcast booth.
I'll take a lap for that one after the game. Oh man, that's rough.
Well, the Tritons now, they're back on defense. They forced a turnover a drive ago. Let's see if they can do it once more. Applewhite is in the gun. Booker joins him. Doubles on the weak side. He's looking towards the weak side. He will fire. Arm gets up. Major Williams.
Major Williams having a heck of a game already.
Major Williams, my favorite player to call. You know, he played in a huge factor in our most recent game. He was the one that had the 100-yard kickoff return that put the Tritons in driving mode to secure the victory.
Iowa Central's defense still staying heavy, and you see there we've got the live stream up watching this. You know, in the NFL that would have been a taunted call all day long. Major Williams giving a little finger wag to that Monroe receiver.
And a sack courtesy of Applewhite. That was huge. Antonio Harris from Berwyn, Illinois, goes coast to coast to get the sack against Applewhite. This is the most time Applewhite is looking to be sacked all season long in a single game. 6 minutes, 20 seconds remain. Monroe is stunned. They started near the 50-yard line. Now they're backed up near the 40. Trips out to the weak side. Applewhite and the guys are out there. They got a lone wide receiver spread out wide as well to the strong side. Let's see what they got for us. Tritons going back. They're going to have to pursue the quarterback. Back-to-back sacks? No.
Just about. Had to throw it away there.
And that was Antonio Harris again that almost got it.
On the ground all the way back at their own 30 when the line of scrimmage was at the 43. It would have been a 13-yard loss on the play already on a 3rd and 16.
Yeah. And if you just joined the broadcast, you'd be like stunned by this next fact, but the Tritons are out of their defensive coordinator today.
They are. He has COVID, being replaced by Coach Young,
who's normally the defensive backs coach. He's filled the role in for them. Looking down low, Jordan Cum going to return it past the 25.
I'd say so far, as a coach, he's doing a fairly good job. They'll start out on their own, appears to be 28-yard line here to start their drive.
Uh-oh. First unsportsmanlike call for the Tritons. It was against number 47, Brian Lively.
And you can see there, I'm not sure what they called it on. It wasn't him talking smack over there. May have just been a late hit or a bad hit there. We'll see where they put Iowa Central at, and they're going to drop them all the way back to the 14-yard line to start out this drive. And as we've seen, earlier in the game, Iowa Central started out on their own 19-yard line, and they punted the ball away. They do not like being that far back in their own territory on offense. And even earlier in the game, started out on their 14-yard line, and that drive ended in 5 plays and a punt as well. So we'll see if they can get something changed here, being backed that far up against their own goal line.
Every time they've started inside their 20, they've had a 3-and-out, right?
Correct.
Oh, fumble! As it looked like it was a miscommunication between Byron Jarrett and Dalen Bodie. And it's going to be a Monroe turnover. Monroe's going to set up in the red zone this time. I called it wrong the last time, but here we go.
Didn't quite see what happened there. We'll see what it was.
It was a miss handoff as Byron Jarrett, he tried to hand off to Bodie. Bodie was thinking maybe it was a different play or just couldn't secure the ball. And then their big DT jumped right on it.
I think it may have been intended to be a play-action pass, and Bodie thought that he was supposed to get the ball. Byron Jarrett just didn't let go of it.
Well, so far the Tritons are their worst enemy. This Monroe team hasn't been playing too hot. The most they've ever drove the football in this game so far was almost 40 yards. Not very impressive, but when you set up on the 11-yard line on the Triton side, probably bound to score. So Applewhite's back to pass. He's looking for an open man. He is open. Toe drag swag may bring him in. Yes,
and
sir.
They will call it. First touchdown of the game for Monroe there.
And a flag's going to be thrown.
I'm going to guess it's probably going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. Maybe an excessive celebration call. We'll see. And it will be excessive celebration.
We need 85's number. It got cut off on my roster sheet.
85 number. And that was number 85 that got called for that unsportsmanlike conduct. Jalen Rose Hanna, the wide receiver freshman from Rochester, New York, who was called for that unsportsmanlike conduct. They did a little bit of a crane move, Karate Kid crane move there in the end zone, and that'll get called every time.
Kung Fu Panda. That's what he was referencing back to. So that's going to tie us up. 7-7. Penalty going to be enforced on the kickoff, which they haven't been great with their kickoffs, as we've seen 2 so far in this game. The Tritons been able to return it past the 30. Let's see what they can do now. 5 minutes, 38 seconds remain in the first half. Folks, you got to make sure you stick around as we got a great halftime show heading forward. Hang on. So officially called as an unsportsmanlike penalty. That's his first of the game. One more, and of course he got ejected. My apology in the pause of the commentary. Our PA man Brownie was just announcing it. I wanted to make sure I had the right call. 7-7, 5 minutes, 38 seconds remain in the first half. Like I was saying, I got to sit down with Coach Montalto earlier this week talking about this whole entire season and preparing for this game ahead. So make sure you stick around for the halftime report, as I'm going to sit down with him and tell you what, such a great guy, such a great coach. He's a role model on and off the field, and the Tritons deserve all the success in the world. coming off of Coach Montalto's helm. Of course, with the Tritons, he's undefeated in the Graphic Edge Bowl. This is the 4th time he's made the trip to Cedar Falls. Well, technically the 3rd, knowing that the last Graphic Edge Bowl was held in Fort Dodge, Iowa.
Absolutely.
So, correction of my mind.
COVID reasons there on that, but regardless, Iowa Central still having the W in that game.
And keep in mind, that game was played in the later parts of May, I believe. So this team is a team that really only got a month or 2 months of rest time before they had to start up the 2021 season, which is insane to me. Regardless, Kone going to field it down near the 28, going to take it forward to about the 40-yard line, where he's going to be chased out of bounds. So the Tritons going to take over on their own 40, 5.5 minutes remain. Folks, if you just tuned in the broadcast, welcome to Triton Nation Network. You're listening to Hank Ambrose and Wright Hillpiper on the call. Right? What do you think about the game so far, man?
I think, Iowa Central really so far is just, stepping all over their own feet when it comes to, having these, silly little penalties and stuff like that. They're just kind of just stepping all over each other, and they're not working very well as a unit right now, and they've really got to get that figured out.
And there he is, the man of the hour, Desmond Washington. We've been waiting for his first reception of the game. It's going to come with 5.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter as he's going to sprint his way forward for what appears to be another Triton first down.
Gotta love those first down plays on first down, Hank.
Yep.
Those are the best kinds.
That one was just a short little curl route, about 5 to 6 yards, and then because of the yak, the yards after catch, yakety yak don't come back. Desmond Washington uses his muscles to drive the Tritons forward for a first down. Going to see a handoff this time to Levon Bellamy, his first handoff of the game. We got a helmet come off, so he's going to have to come out for a play. It's our right guard.
And there is a flag on the play now. It might be some helmet-to-helmet contact there. Usually the case when a helmet does come off. We'll
Elijah
see.
Heatherston going to have to sit out a play.
See what happened here. And holy cow. Watching that replay on the live stream there, he went in head first on that tackle with no helmet on. Yep, and they will give the Tritons.
So the flag just came out because of the helmet coming off.
Because of the helmet.
2nd and 6. It's going to be past the 50, going to be inching towards the 45-yard line of the Mustang side. Doubles on each side. Going to be a handoff to Bellamy. Bellamy going to be squashed down behind the line of scrimmage.
Triton's 7th offensive drive of the game now. Only one score to show for it. The last few drives for Iowa Central have ended in a punt, an interception, and a fumble. So not playing too well on the offensive side of the ball right now. Got a lot of things to figure out at halftime, but I think so overall in the first half they've been doing all right. Their defense has definitely been playing to the best of their abilities.
As that was Kamara Weaver that got the tackle for a loss. 3rd and 8. Byron Jarrett going to have to string one out wide. It's going to be an incomplete pass as he throws it away. Pressure was coming from a very fast cornerback, Mikhail Lafile, who was actually the linebacker that got the interception not too long ago.
That'll bring up 4th and 8 now, and it looks like Iowa Central is going to elect to punt the ball away again. After those first couple drives of the game, just kind of stalled out a little bit. Iowa Central not being able to get much taken care of on the offensive side of the ball. We'll see if they come out after halftime with a little bit better frame of mind. See if they can get something figured out.
Kone going to line up to punt once more. Going to be a line drive kick. Get out of here, take a Triton bounce. Way to go, Major Williams in the right place at the right time as he watches it sail down and out of bounds near the 10.
Pin him inside the 10-yard line. Always good to see that.
Pin the ball on the Mustang. The Mustang's going to take over inside their own 20. It's going to be a 1st and 10. 4 minutes and 6 seconds remain in the first half.
Looks like they're going to spot the ball right at the 8-yard line. We'll see where it went out here. Can't quite tell. Looked like it went out. Yep, that's where they are going to place it, right on their own 8-yard line. Now, Hank, here's a weird stat line for you. The last 3 drives ended with a fumble, a touchdown, and a punt. 2 of those by Iowa Central, all within the 5-minute mark of this second quarter. One ended with a touchdown for Monroe, though, so that's not good to see.
So Shelton Applewhite Jr. is in the pistol. Doubles on the strong side, a lone wide receiver, but it doesn't matter because it's a handoff. The middle of the field, Bryant Barrier, Noah Epley going to be there first to bring him down. Under 4 minutes to play. It's in the middle of the second quarter, as this could be one of the final possessions of the first half.
We'll see if Iowa Central gets the chance to come back out on offense before the half and see if they can put some more points on the board. It would be nice to go into halftime, you know, leading the game. You know, a tie is better than being down by 7 points going into halftime, but it would be nice if we could see Iowa Central put some more points on the board before halftime.
Here we go, play action pass, gonna have to throw it away. Oh my goodness, Bryant. No, that was not Bryant. That was actually Garrett Oldendike, I believe, that got there first, sending down the hammer.
Almost had a safety there. We'll see it on the replay here in just a second, how close he was. He was backed up all the way at the 1 yard line when he threw that ball. Went all the way past the 25. On his back foot. Not set, but definitely way over the head of any receiver in that area.
Looking down at the field, 3 minutes, 24 seconds remain. Got doubles, it's bunched up in the formation. I see a tight end also in the package.
3rd and 10 here. They are going to pass it.
Spreading out wide, Applewhite looking long.
Oh, almost picked off by Iowa Central once more.
CJ Christian was there in the zone read, did a great job at tracking down the wide receiver and putting pressure on the receiver, because I tell you what, you do not want to be running in front of CJ Christian with the football, otherwise you're going to be nighty-night. Get a pacifier and go to sleep right at the Unidome.
Be a very, very unhappy camper.
3 minutes, 20 seconds remain, the score 7-7. Now, this is a nice look for a change, as Monroe's going to be punting from their own end zone. We've seen the Tritons do that 2 times, almost 3 times, as we're going to see a timeout called on Iowa Central side so far. The score 7-7. It's been a great match thus far. A lot of fun to commentate so far in the Unidome. This is my first experience being down here. Are you enjoying your trip down to Cedar Falls?
I am, you know, and I'm here almost every weekend anyway. But this is the first, not the first time that I've been in the Unidome. I've watched countless high school playoff games here in the postseason, but first time I've been able to broadcast here, and I'm hoping that, you know, next year I'll be able to come back here for a Graphic Edge Bowl, or, you know, maybe something a little bit better than that. You know? we'll see how the Tritons do next year. So far in this first half, only 2 touchdown drives, 1 by each team. The rest of them, punts, fumbles, interceptions, turnovers on downs. We've had the whole 9 yards here, pun intended, whole 9 yards of drives here. As Jordan Cum will take the fair catch right around the 40-yard line. Iowa Central will take over 1st down and 10 with 3:14 left on the clock. They've got plenty of time to get to the end zone. Already on their own side of the field.
And I think that Coach Montalto just iced the punter.
Did he?
How many times does that happen? As that was a pretty poor punt off of the leg of their punter. We usually see a better performance by him. But I'll tell you what, we're going to see the Tritons. They're going to take over past the 50-yard line. They're lined up on the 40-yard line to the T. So we're going to look at a doubles to the weak side. They're spread out wide. But also, keep an eye out on 84. That's Cal Wiedemann. He had the touchdown grab earlier, as he's going to be spread out near the slot. Going to be a handoff now. It's going to be Bodie. He's back in the game. Stutter, step, butterfly motion, work his way outside. DB going to pick up another massive amount of yards. Going to be close to a 1st down. I think it's going to be about 8.
Looks like they are going to spot it right around the 31, 32-yard line here, and it will be the 32, 2nd down and 2 for the Tritons. They've got plenty of time to put it in the end zone, and if they end up in a 4th down situation here, they're almost in that in field goal range.
So Bodie does a great job at avoiding pressure, as he's going to truck a man over and then fight forward after contact.
We'll see on the replay here in a second. He just bounced right off of that guy. No chance of him getting him brought down. Tritons now 1st down and 10. Just bounced right off of him.
2.5 minutes remain, so you got a lot of time to drive 30 yards. Byron Jarrett gonna corner one up there, trying to aim for Desna Washington. Gonna go incomplete. He had pressure on his back. Good job at reading it. I'd rather have an incomplete pass than a sack, as we got a Monroe Mustang down. It's looking like a D-back.
Looks like we've got 2 down.
Oh, 2.
2 of them are down here. Looks like that one closest to us is probably a cramp. Looks like they might both be cramps.
As one of them is Peyton Edwards, who's their starting safety. He wears the number 5 as the other player that was down due to injury. It looks like he got up. That was number 28. Getting the number for you guys right now, Edmund Dennis.
And it looks like he'll have a cramp in his right calf. Just saw on the replay there he was holding his right, or not, excuse me, his right quad, not his calf, as he was holding it as he went down onto the field. Maybe get him stretched out, grab him some pickle juice and a banana here. Get him back in the game.
Well, we hope nothing serious is on the field. So far, what a great game. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remain. It's going to come down to a 2nd down and 10 as Tritons are marching inside the 25-yard line. It appears, yes, it was just a cramp, as we're going to see Michael LaFile. He's going to lead the defense and try to get them motivated without their starting safety.
Super, super short drives as we get to the end of the first half here. You know, the Tritons' first drive of the game, 12-play drive. After that, we haven't had a single drive over six plays.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely insane. Quite a few 3-and-outs here, you know, a fumble and an interception as well. And overall, just very, very short drives. Neither team with a whole lot of time on offense here. But Iowa Central now getting within field goal range here. We'll see if they can get something figured out, maybe put 3 points up on the board before half.
Jarrett back to pass. He'll fire for the end zone. Desna Washington just out of range. Here comes a 3rd down and 10 after we saw 2 incomplete passes in a row.
Well over his head there. I'm not sure if that, I don't think Byron was trying to throw that away. Not sure what he was doing there. It looked like he may have just had a bad pass.
Well, that happens from time to time. We're going to be in good shape. It's a 3rd down and 10. Even if we elect to just run the football, Colin Svigman going to have an opportunity to kick the field goal. 7-7, 2:11 remains. Byron's in the gun with Bodie. I also see doubles on each side, and they're spread out wide. Jordan Cum and Cal Wiedemann are in the slot.
Trying to get him to jump off sides here. They won't. Getting it down around the 20, and he'll take off with it, Byron Jarrett himself, and he'll lose the football.
It's going to be another fumble going against Jarrett. That's going to be his 3rd turnover, as Monroe going to jump on the ball in favor of the Mustangs. Tyree Martin Jr., the freshman D-back, who filled in the spot of their starting safety, Peyton Edwards. So his 2nd play from the line of scrimmage coming into this game, he's going to get a fumble recovery. That's Byron Jarrett's 2nd fumble, as he threw a pick as well earlier, make that 3 turnovers.
Just super unfortunate, just completely negating the chance to put 3 more points up on the board for Iowa Central here. And Jarrett visibly upset after that fumble. It's just these little things, you know, that we got to get under control if we're going to put any more points up on the board. And with 2:02 left, Monroe still has a chance to drive down the field and put points on the board themselves. I believe they only have 2 timeouts left.
Yep, 2 timeouts remaining. The Tritons have a total of 3. Applewhite's back to pass. He's going to fire long. Uh-oh, Deontay Nelson got to turn around. Beautiful. Put it on a dime. As that's going to be a catch and go for over 50 yards.
Beautiful pass, beautiful catch. Caught him in stride, too. Those are always so satisfying to watch.
Halim Dixon King was the wide receiver on that last fade route.
He threw that ball from around his own 13-yard line, and he caught it at the 45 on the other side of the field. So an absolutely beautiful pass by Applewhite here.
Hurry up offense now. Inside the 40, shotgun, doubles on each side. Tritons got to be quick, springing on their feet. Looking back to pass once more, looking over the middle of the field. Applewhite to call his own number. He gets brought down that time by the Iowa Central Triton linebacker.
He was looking to throw deep there once again, but Iowa Central secondary had all of Monroe's receivers wrapped up like nice and tight, like a Christmas present, Hank.
There you go. Deion Coleman made his first tackle of the game. A 2nd and 8. 37 seconds remain for the Mustangs. Let's see what they got for us. 1:25. Shotgun formation. Doubles on the strong side. Applewhite back to pass. He's looking long. Here comes the pressure. Bryant Barrier. Double B is bad to the bone. He's going to bring him down.
Easy sack on that blind side there. That left tackle absolutely just doing nothing to stop him.
Timeout, Monroe. That's their second of the half.
As we're going to hear Monroe, they call a timeout for them. 7-7's the score. 1:07 remain, and Monroe forcing another timeout on their side. They're going to have just one remaining.
1:07 left to play here. They've still got a chance to put the ball in the end zone. We'll see if Iowa Central's defense can take care of business. Hopefully they can. Wouldn't want to see any more points put up on the board by Monroe today. We can hold them to 7. I'd consider that a good day.
Oh, yeah, and folks, you're going to want to make sure you stick around for the halftime show, as I got to sit down with Coach Montalto earlier this week talking about preparing for this game and the whole season in its entirety. And what else the Tritons bring to the table going against Monroe College for the second time in team history. If you don't know, folks, Tritons beat them in the Unidome for the 2018 Graphic Edge Bowl, 34-20. So that was a thriller of the game that went down to the fourth quarter. Trips to the weak side. Applewhite's back out there in the gun. He's back to pass. He's looking over the middle. Uh-oh, here we go. Stepping up, Dakari Randall and Bryant Barrier were there to strike twice.
Bryant Barrier 2 times, same drive, back-to-back plays with the sacks here. You know, they called it a 0-yard gain. Still considered.
Timeout, Iowa Central, their second.
Another timeout going to be called, but this time it's on the Triton side. 7-7, 57 seconds remain. I don't think you can kick a field goal from 41 yards out. That'd be about a 56-yard field goal.
They can try it. I mean, I don't think that there's any chance they'll make it that far.
You know, if they do try it, we got some speedsters that can go back there and sit and just hawk right under the field goal post. Got a good idea that maybe Jordan Cumm may be the one sent out there to try and do those duties.
Hank, that's only 10 yards short of the NFL record. 66 yards, Justin Tucker has that record for the Ravens. And it looks like they're going to punt the ball away instead of electing to kick it, the field goal.
Which is the smart decision.
Absolutely, it is.
On Monroe's side.
You know, I wish they would have had a lapse of judgment there and just decided to, you know, kick a field goal there, but we've got another timeout.
Iowa Central, for the third and final
Coach
timeout.
Montalto trying to ice the punter again. I'm not sure what his tactic here is. I mean, we do have 3 timeouts, so
yeah, like you said,
might as well use them.
You brought up icing the punter, which is usually ice the kicker off a field goal at the end of a quarter or a game or something similar to that. Now, last time, the reason I brought that up is their punter, Cardenas, was set up in his own end zone, and he was only able to punt it to about 40 yards, which was a net average of about 40 yards, which is an ideal punt in the football. So if you ice him again, I mean, the Tritons, I don't know. We've seen his kicking power. We don't know his kicking accuracy. He may be able to pin us deep and just get a wedge inside the 10. Jordan Cumm, it looks like he's going to be back deep to return for the Tritons. His Cardenas kick is up. It's going to travel to about the 20 before it bounces down.
High and short. It will take a Monroe roll inside the 10, right around the 9-yard line.
Wow. 7-7, 43 seconds remain. We got to check on the wind in here. If there's any wind in the Unidome, that is. With that bounce, that was insane. That took such a good bounce on their side. Special teams are just as important as offense and defense, as we've seen with the Iowa Hawkeyes this year, especially with the Iowa State game. That game was probably won because of how good they punted the football.
Oh, no way. I just saw the replay coming from the live stream. One of those Monroe players pushed the football. I kid you not, pushed that football forward.
It was close. It looked like he was maybe blowing it or winding it or something. Well, here we go. Let's go back to football. Iowa Central Tritons, they have it. They're close to their own end zone. Shotgun formation, handoff to Bodie. He's going to get near the line of scrimmage. And if you saw right there, they tried to strip him once more. 35 seconds will remain ball is in our possession. Let's go Tritons. Here we go. It'll be a 2nd down and 10. Tritons still going to be inside the 10-yard line.
Doesn't look like the Tritons are going to make any wild decisions here. Looks like they're probably just going to let the clock run out here. They can if they want to. They've got time to run another play, but they don't necessarily have to. 5 seconds left on the clock.
Might take a shot deep. 4 seconds, let's see. Gonna wind it out.
And it looks like they are gonna wind it out, so that's gonna end the first half here.
7-7 is the
All-time
halftime score. What a game we've had so far, right?
Absolutely, it's been an absolute battle of defenses so far. Neither team putting up big numbers today on the offensive side of the ball. But that's to be expected coming into this game. We expected it to be quite the defensive battle, and that's what we've gotten so far.
It's going to be a brawl throughout the rest of the game as we see the Tritons. They're going to return to their sideline. The Tritons doing well on offense and moving the football. To me, they've been their worst enemy. Once they lost momentum, it's been downhill since there. Folks, we got a halftime show that we're going to play for you in just a short moment here, but otherwise, I'm having fun in the Unidome. The Tritons looking to be good. This may go down as one of their better matches of the season. Now, we're looking in a little bit of preparation of this. They only had one similar opponent to this season. It was against Lackawanna College. The Tritons, they stomped them early on in the year. I believe it was week 2 or 3. Originally, the Tritons were actually down at half against Lackawanna, but they came back to win it 42-28, the final score. And the final score against Lackawanna and Monroe College. Monroe College got a 1-point victory in a single overtime. 49-48 was the final of that game as well. Otherwise, folks, I'm having fun. How about you, Wright?
I'm having a whole lot of fun. It's great to be here. I enjoy the atmosphere. I love being, in this big dome. It's even nice to be here, watching, high school playoff football. But it's even better sitting here watching the Tritons play on a Sunday afternoon and commentating on college playoff football.
Yes, sir. Football in December, like we mentioned earlier, as we're looking down now. Coach Montalto and the coaching staff recently left over there. They're going to go and chalk up some of their talk over in their respective locker rooms. So far, Iowa Central Tritons, they've been looking really good on offense. Their best drive was definitely the first one. They came out guns a-blazing. The rest of them went a little downhill after their first 3 turnovers. We've seen the Tritons have a total of 3 turnovers off of their end, and Monroe College have just had 1. So far, the touchdowns, both coming off of receptions. Byron Jarrett, he had a little RPO action, went over towards Cal Wiedemann. It was about close to a 10-yard receiving touchdown for him as Byron Jarrett was scrambling on that one. And also for that last touchdown that Monroe College had, got sent over to number 85, looked really well off of their end. It was just a little pinned-up pass into the corner, had that toe drag swag. He got eventually called for his first unsportsmanlike penalty of the game. That was Hall from Monroe College. So far, we got the band out. They're playing. They made the trip over to Iowa Central Community College. Otherwise, folks, we're going to take a short break in the broadcast live here. We're going to cut it over to my halftime interview when I got to sit down with Coach Montalto pregame of the contest for today's action.
Welcome, Triton Nation, to the Triton Halftime Report. I'm joined alongside Coach Montalto, the head football coach of the Iowa Central Tritons, and it's bowl season. We're getting ready to go over in Cedar Falls, Iowa for the Graphic Edge Bowl. But first, we got to talk about preparation heading into the big day. Coach, the game is going to be on the 5th of December. What has your preparation been like preparing for the game?
Yeah, we had those couple weeks off, after our last game against Ellsworth, which allowed for all of our kids to get home for Thanksgiving break. We had a Monday and Tuesday practice before heading into Thanksgiving break. We found out Tuesday that we were playing Monroe, who's 10-0 in the top 6 in the country, one of the better teams in the country, and a team that's probably determined to show that they should have been in the Final Four. So obviously, we got a great opponent and a game that we're excited about. But we were able to watch a little bit of film over Thanksgiving break and start the preparation into a really good, solid team that does quite a bit on defense, as far as from a schematic standpoint, plays multiple coverages. Offensively, I think their quarterback may be as good as anybody we've seen all year. With Shelton Applewhite, I think leads the country maybe in efficiency, or if not, he's close behind Byron in that category. And they got a couple receivers that are pretty special. So, like I said, great opponent with should be a great game coming into it.
It's going to be a great game. These are two teams between the Tritons and Monroe College that a lot of football fans, especially at the NJCAA level, could say these are two deserving top 4 teams, but just a really tough schedule. Like you said, Monroe, they remain undefeated. How do the Tritons look to take that undefeated season away from them on the 5th?
Yeah, we got to kind of lean on our strong points, which is, our offensive line. We have multiple guys with Division I offers up front, and we've got to dominate the line of scrimmage, and then I think our D-line and linebacking core has to make a lot of plays, and put some pressure on their quarterback and get him off, out of the pocket and get him to move and just kind of get him out of rhythm. And if we're able to do that, I think our secondary will make quite a few plays in the back end. But if we allow him to sit back there and have all day to throw, he does a really good job progressing, getting his feet set into his next progression and making a lot of good throws down the field.
Looking a little bit at Monroe College, you guys have had one similar opponent that I can note, Lackawanna College. Both of you guys had the victory over them. Their victory was by just 1 point in an overtime shootout. You guys fared a little better against Lackawanna College earlier on in the season. Looking at film and just kind of knowing who Lackawanna is, do you kind of see where to attack them on offense and defense, Coach?
Yeah, and Lackawanna is a fairly explosive football team, and I thought our defense played really well. And it was so long ago. When you talk about 11 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago, when you play in the opening game of the year, and there's so many unknowns in that first game of the year. When we opened up at Lackawanna, and the biggest thing for our kids, the biggest takeaway is we were down at one point in that game. We missed a couple opportunities early on, and found ourselves down, in the third, fourth quarter, 21-7, and our kids mounted a comeback where kind of showed the resiliency of our group, and that was kind of what Monroe did too. Monroe battled back and forth. I think Lackawanna went down and scored, took the lead late in the game, and then Monroe scored late to tie it up and send it into overtime, and then finished it in overtime. And Lackawanna went for 2 instead of kicking the extra point to taking it into a second overtime. So. Very, very similar groups with us and Monroe, with resilient football teams that are going to find a way to win. Same thing with Monroe beating Nassau earlier in the year with a 9-7 game against a team that's playing for, I think, the Division III national title against DuPage, who is a tough opponent. And, it was a game where I think Nassau had taken the lead at one point, and Monroe came back and found a way to win that game. So that's just kind of who they are. They're just a tough, resilient group that is competitive, and they're going to show that they deserve to be in every game and try to find a way to win. So we know that we've got to bring our A game and play extremely well all day long.
Playing against the #1 Iowa Western Reavers, earlier on in the season, and you guys have had other really tough matchups over in the Jayhawk conference in that area. Do you guys think that that's going to help you out in the long run, playing so many great teams early on to prepare you for the final game of the season, Coach?
It is, and we've been battle tested against, some really good competition, with Kansas schools like Highland and also Iowa Western, who, they played extremely well both games against us, and it's just one of those teams that when you run into them year in, year out, they're going to bring their best, and we've got to make sure that we can do that. So those matchups throughout the year are definitely going to prepare us for this game, and but I think the biggest thing going in is the difference in speed. When you've got two teams that have been off, I think Monroe's been off now 2 weeks before this game, and us 3 weeks, is that speed of the game, and who handles the, that layoff the best, and that's something that I've experienced now in coaching 7 of these games, is who can come out in the first quarter and adjust the quickest. And that's kind of what we're going for in our practice preparation is, playing fast, playing with tempo, and trying to match that game speed in practice. So that's going to be a big point of emphasis for us as we continue to lead up to bowl day.
The teams you've coached at Iowa Central Community College, undefeated at the Graphic Edge Bowl over in Cedar Falls, Iowa. It kind of makes me feel like that they have our bounty on our heads. You guys kind of like that, having a bounty on your heads, or do you kind of prefer the chase and kind of knocking off the top dog?
And I think that goes both ways. We played Monroe in 2018 and beat them, when my first year here at Iowa Central. And it was a game that we kind of went back and watched a little bit of this week. And we started off really well, probably as well as I've ever started off in a bowl game. We had a pick six. We had a touchdown in the first half. We rotated quarterbacks. And both guys drove the ball down the field. And like I said, our kids played really well. And we probably thought we could have been up bigger than what we were at halftime. So, like I said, they're going to be out to get us for that game. They're going to be out to get us because of the success that we've had in the Graphic Edge Bowl, with it being our bowl game, basically. But then, our kids better have a chip on their shoulder. They're the number 6 team in the country. We're the underdog. If you ask me, we're the underdog, and our kids better be hungry, to go prove that we deserve to be in the top 5 and not those guys, and that we're as deserving as anybody else in the country with, only losing to one football team this year.
You brought up leadership. Let's talk a bit about your sophomore players. What have you noticed throughout them, not just like this past week in practice, but throughout the whole year, preparing for this game, preparing to go back to the Graphic Edge Bowl? What have you noticed from them from a player standpoint and from an off-the-field standpoint that you've been so impressed with?
For us, we actually just got our rings in from last year's bowl win against Nemi. And, guys are starting to ask questions, and they see the rings come in and the newer guys, and they want to know how to get one. And for us to go get one, we've got to go out and win a game. And you see guys that have been there before, like Byron Jarrett, who led us to the touchdown drive that sealed it last year. He wants to go out on a win. Mm-hmm. Reggie Young, who is a kid who transferred in this semester, but these guys they're playing their last college football game with us, they want to go out on the right foot, and they've set a groundwork and established a great culture here, and a winning culture here at Iowa Central that they want to leave a legacy, and be that first team to win 9 games since 1997. So it's important for these guys to go out on the right foot and leave everything that they have on the field. It's not just another game to them. This game's special and it means something to them, and I think it's a great opportunity for them to go out and prove it.
You guys talked about how earlier on in the season, of course, the state high school championships are held there for football in Iowa. And you talk about going down there, kind of trying to get some guys to come our way to Iowa Central, to our football program. Who's to say that there's not going to be scouts from D1 schools there as well? So like you said, it's a huge opportunity to prove your worth in the final game for a lot of these Iowa Central Triton players. Another thing I'd like to add is you NJCAA football teams are like no other team, because you guys played football, one of the toughest, if not the toughest sport in the summer, and to bounce back so early into the fall, play in the 90 to 100 degree heat and the 30 to 20 degree below freezing temperatures. Are you kidding me?
For sure. And you talk about the recruiting aspect of it also, and our kids getting this opportunity to extend their season by another week, to have an opportunity to play after all the Division I schools are done. Most of the Division I schools finished up this past week, the FCS schools 2 weeks ago. So now, even on campus today, we have 15 coaches coming to watch practice, at the Division I level. And that's special for our kids to get opportunities to go play the next level. I've never coached in this game where we've had a kid going into the game that doesn't come out of here with an offer that they didn't initially have going into the game. So to go and play well in front of coaches and get an opportunity to maybe get a scholarship and live out their dreams to play Division I football, that's what this game is really about at the end of the day, and I think it's going to be a pretty special opportunity.
It's a huge path to be an Iowa Central Triton. You guys have had such an illustrious season so far. Do you guys have a favorite moment, you think, as a team or team bonding throughout the season thus far?
I think, for me, just watching this group come together has been phenomenal, but if you go back to the first game, I think the first game of the year shaped our season. You know, when our kids can easily fold in, and when we were down by 2 scores in the fourth quarter, and they had that fight in them, you know, and it showed kind of what this group is made of, and that they were going to be here all year long, no matter what the situation, no matter who put in front of us. And they showed it even in our losses, where we had comebacks and had an opportunity to you know, tie a game or come back in and cut it to 1 score. And they just kind of showed that resiliency all the way throughout the year, and that's what I'm most proud of this group, is the way that they've continued to fight and compete, and we've never questioned how hard they play. So I would expect the same thing on December 5th, and when we play these guys, I would expect our group to play hard for 4 quarters.
Tritons, very mature, have showed a lot of heart in every single football game they play. They've been so exciting to watch throughout the season. A lot of players, you know, in that All-American hunt, a lot of players that are probably going to be All-Americans. It's so much fun to be an Iowa Central Triton fan and supporting them. You guys got to check out all the home broadcasts, of course, of Triton Nation. We stream them all on Triton Nation's YouTube channel. Along with that, you know, I want to talk a little bit more about Lackawanna, about Monroe, what it comes down to. I want to talk about a little bit about how we're going to beat them on this upcoming Sunday and what we need to do to make sure that happens.
Yeah, I think offensively we got to play with good tempo, be able to run the football, you know, dominate the line of scrimmage, which is always key for us. But when we get in a rhythm and we can play fast, we play a lot better. You know, when we're playing methodical and just not really moving the ball, and not getting up to the line of scrimmage and getting set with pace, we generally don't play as well. So we want to turn a lot of plays and continue to put up the yards and points that we have throughout the year. And then on the defense side of the ball, we got to make big plays. You know, and we've asked our guys when you get one-on-one opportunities, go make a play, because you're going to have some one-on-one shots that they take, you know, on our corners, and our DNs are going to have to make sacks when we get those opportunities in one-on-one situations, whether it's in the pass rush or their quarterback getting out on the edge and kind of contain him. So obviously got to contain their quarterback, limit him to what he does, and then just eliminate the big plays and then make plays when we get an opportunity.
For sure. You told me prior to this past week that you guys are going to be taking a trip to Ames, I believe, to their indoor facility. You know, now is that just kind of to get used to the collegiate turf, or is that kind of just an experience, or could you divert on that, Coach?
Yeah, it's just, you know, when our kids have earned this right to play in a bowl game, you know, and they deserve it, you know. So for these guys, we want to be able to reward them any way that we can, you know. So if that's going to practice at a Division I facility, that's what we want to do. So we're going to head over to Iowa State, which also gets us used to playing indoors, because it's not a game where we're playing outside in 20-degree weather in December. So we are going to be indoors. So we've got to make sure we're accustomed to that climate and in that situation, and get used to being able to, you know, run that turkey off and everything else that the kids have done over Thanksgiving break. So we'll go to Iowa State for 2 days, and then we'll go to UNI for a day. To get used to practicing in the dome and playing in the dome.
Well, you guys, you know what to do. You've been in the situation before. Let's come back with another Graphic Edge Bowl. Before you go, you know the rule. I always leave my guests with the spotlight, talk about their team, coming out, supporting them from a fan standpoint. If you'd like to do that and turn to that camera right there, you may go on ahead, Coach.
Yeah, this is a group that I'm extremely proud of. You know, it's a great group of kids and young men that, like I say, we're extremely proud of, and like I say, they're a great group of football players to come watch. So December 5th, come check us out, Graphic Edge Bowl, 2 o'clock, down at the Uni Dome. So
let's do it. This has been Coach Montalto on the Triton Halftime Show. I'd like to thank you for joining me. Go Tritons, and how about we get back to the broadcast?
Welcome back, Triton Nation. After that halftime report, I'd like to thank Coach Montalto one more time for joining me for the halftime report. I have such a fun time sitting with him every single week, talking about some ICAC football with them. The Tritons, they have so much to prove in today's game. So far, they're playing really well. I want to go through some of the stats with my main man, Wright Hillpiper. Are you ready to go, Wright?
Absolutely.
So leading the way, we're going to start with defense. And we'll bounce between the Mustangs and the Iowa Central Tritons. Leading the way for the Mustangs in total tackles, Zarell Walker. He's their linebacker with 7. And our RN, we have 3 guys tied for first place. We're playing more team defense. Not a sole guy is really stepping up and stepping out there. Major Williams has 3, Garrett Oldendyke with 3, and Dakari Randall have 3. You know what's funny about that, right?
What's that?
those are 3 out of the 4 of our starting linebackers that are leading the way in tackles for that. The only other one is actually the guy that leads our team in total tackles with 66 now on the season, Noah Epley. So that's an interesting stat that I noticed. Going back down to pass yards, between Shelton Applewhite Jr., he's got a total of 97. Byron Jarrett, he's 78. He's your ICAC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. So the fact that they've only held Jarrett to just 78 mere throwing yards in this half, absurd to me. Going back down now to receptions, Halim Dixon King has a total of 3 so far for the Mustangs, and leading us is Cal Wiedemann with a total of 4. He had the receiving touchdown earlier in the game. Man, you know, another one to note, Jalen Rose Hanna for the Mustangs. He had the receiving touchdown earlier. He has a total of 2 receptions in this one thus far. Rushing yards, we're looking at Troy Booker from the Mustang side. He's the workhorse back. He has a total of 50. And Dalen Bowdy, he's got 45. Now, from each side, we've seen 2 other separate ball carriers come from them. Ernest Blackshear with a total of 6. He's their second-string tailback. And Shelton Applewhite Jr., who's usually a mobile quarterback, negative 13 off of sacks.
Well, you know, that tends to happen, and those are the kinds of stat lines that we like to see there. Heck, those negative yards in the opponent's categories there.
Which is similar to how our backup, tailback, and of course Byron Jarrett stat line is in their rushing yards. -2 and -7 from Bellamy and Jarrett, and Bodie leading the way with 45 so far. It's been a defensive battle. I truly believe, not even being biased, I think that the Tritons have been much better so far playing on offense and defense, but they keep shooting themselves in the foot. They've committed 2 bonehead fumbles, really. Both of them set up the Mustangs inside the Triton red zone. One of the times the Tritons got to stop them and actually send them back to the 40-yard line where they had to punt eventually.
Yep.
But other than that, we haven't seen the Mustangs really move the ball. They've had really 2 big plays. The only time the Mustangs have scored was when they were placed on the Triton 11-yard line.
Exactly.
So have they been able to move the football? No, not really. Have we been dominating the line of scrimmage and the first down chain gang? Yes, we have been. We got our work cut out for us for the rest of the half, though. Big halftime speech, I'm sure, happened over halftime. And now we got to get right back into it because the Tritons, they're going to be kicking off to begin half number 2, the final half of the game. And looking down for the Monroe side, they'll be receiving back deep into the woods, as I like to say. All right, here we go. 15 minutes on the clock, and Swigman's kick is back deep. Going to be fielded down now. Rose going to think about it. Now he's going to field it back to the 10. I don't know if that was the right call, as he's going to be pummeled by Baal Kone near the 10, maybe the 9-yard line.
See where they spot it at, but I would imagine that it would probably be, looks like they're going to put it right on the 9-yard line.
And folks, before we get into the game here in the drive chart, we got a report from Lauren. Lauren is our sideline reporter for the game. Before we start any of the drives in the second half, let's cut it right back over to her. And we're back, folks. We just missed one play. Looking down at it, it was an incomplete pass for Applewhite. Didn't miss any of the action so far besides the very first play of the second half. So we're going to see a 2nd down and 10. The ball's marked on the 9-yard line on Monroe's sideline. You know, they had a poor decision. Rose, who had the receiving touchdown earlier, was pinned back deep in the woods, thought about returning it, and at the very last second he did. He couldn't work his way backwards. Otherwise, that would have been called as a safety, of course. But otherwise, Tritons with a good start to the second half.
Watching him down there, he was visibly upset with his receiving team as they did a very, very poor job of blocking for him. Only made it back to his own 9-yard line.
As Booker acts as if he's a boulder rolling down a big hill. He's going to rumble and bumble past the Tritons secondary and almost went to the house, but it's going to be a pickup of 15.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling all the way down to about the 22-yard line there.
It'll be a pistol formation. 2 wide receivers are spread out wide on the single side. We also see a tight end in formation. Applewhite, halfback stretch outside as we're looking down to Deontay Nelson. He shoved him out of bounds. He's going to be credited with the tackle. That's going to move him to his second tackle on the day for the Tritons. 14-14 remains in the third quarter. So far, the Triton defense looked good at first, bringing them to a third down conversion now. We're looking at a second down and 10 as they're still inside their own 25-yard line on the Monroe side. Let's see if they have anything for us heading into this drive.
You know, and we talked about in the first half, they really didn't get anything going on the offensive side of the ball. The only time they ever scored was when they started with the ball inside of our 15, and even still on their first offensive drive here in the second half, they have not been able to move the ball very well at all, and that'll bring up a third down and 9 on that run play just then. They're just getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage every single time, and I think what they're going to try to do as the second half progresses is try to expose our defensive backs a little bit and try to play towards Iowa Central's weaknesses so far. But really, I mean, there hasn't been very many weaknesses when it comes to Iowa Central's defense. I say that as we have just jumped off sides on third down and 9.
But, you know, they haven't caused a lot of penalties, so really, you were right for saying that. It doesn't happen very often.
Penalty. Still third down.
As we hear over our speakers, the head judge is going to be down to a third down and 5. As the chain gang is working towards the center of the field.
Still third down. I'm feeling a play action pass here, but we'll see. Try to get them to jump off sides once more, and they're going to have to call a play here.
Applewhite is in the shotgun. I see doubles on each side. Booker's also standing lone with him. The Lone Ranger back to pass, looking long. Mid-range game, no good. C.J. Christian there on coverage.
No chance there on that one, and they will come out to punt the ball away on their first drive of this second half, which honestly, it's a great thing to see. We'll see if Iowa Central can capitalize on this failure of a first offensive drive for Monroe. That was just a bad pass there watching that replay. Just couldn't get much of anything.
Uh-oh, and here we go. Big time fumble going back. Form tackle. He's going to end up with the ball in the end zone. I don't think it's going to be called as a touchdown, but that's a huge play for number 29 on the Iowa Central special teams side. Oh, my goodness, what the wheels. Perry Slater, the DB from Rock Island, Illinois.
He almost had him all the way back in the end zone, and that punter is now down on the field. Took a big shot there.
And he got megged right through. The ball went right through, underlining them, and now the Tritons are going to be set up for a first and goal opportunity, about 2 yards shy of that sweet, sweet touchdown.
Hoping that that punter's okay. Like I said, he took a very big shot, and he's up and walking off the field now.
And Cardenas, the starting punter, appears to be okay for Monroe College. Now the Tritons. I mean, what better field position could you start with in the second half?
You can't ask for much better than this. Starting on your excuse me, on your opponent's own 2-yard line. First down and goal, first play of the drive.
And folks, look at this. Tristan Waugh is out there. He's our defensive end. He's out as a combo blocking back. Byron Jarrett, he's a big-bodied man. He can run it in. Let's see, and they stop him.
I don't think he got it there.
They stopped Byron Jarrett, the 6'4", 240-pound quarterback, built like an offensive lineman. They stopped him. I cannot believe it.
Byron Jarrett's out there. He's calling to push back those starting offensive players coming onto the sideline, or coming off of the sideline. He attempted to. Coach Montalto said no way, and they'll take out all of those big boys. Byron Jarrett wanted to run that same play again. I can see it. He was out there. He was moving his hand around, and you can probably see it. Look at him. He's just telling him to go back to the sideline, but Montalto was having none of it. And they'll run something real here And
Bodie
it will pay off.
lunges forward. Second effort, gonna get in there.
Touchdown, Tritons. Hang on a minute.
Dalen Bodie bodying his way forward. We have a helmet off on the field. That should be the only penalty. The Tritons punch it in for 6.
I don't know here. I think the refs.
It's a touchdown. Penalty was thrown because a helmet came off. Yes, sir.
There we are. Thought the refs may have been second guessing their decision there, but regardless, we will take the 6 points.
With the workhorse back like Dalen Bodie, how many times can you question it? Swigman to take the extra point, lining up. Jacob Tokheim, he's our holder. Tokheim, nice placement of the ball, and Swigman puts it right through the upright. So that's going to bring the score 14-7. Only took the Tritons 3 minutes to score at the start of the second half. We've seen one drive apiece from the Iowa Central Tritons and Monroe Community College. Tritons, what a start to the second half. If this is forecasting the rest of how this game will be, Tritons looking bright blue skies for the rest of this one.
Absolutely, and you know, Hank, you can't expect much less when you start off on your first offensive drive of the half with a bad snap punt. You start 1st and goal on the 2-yard line. You can't expect much less than, punching it into the end zone. It should have been on the first play with that Byron Jarrett quarterback run up right up the middle, but they got it on the second play, so we can't complain about that. The Tritons are now up to kick the ball off here at the beginning of the second half.
See what they got for us. Swigman's kick is up. Goodbye. That's sent all the way over towards Rose, and he's going to actually fair catch it this time. They want to make sure that there's going to be no return, as they definitely had a miscommunication the last time they tried to return a kickoff. As now we're looking down, as had some extracurricular on the field. No dirty laundry going to be thrown, though. So we're going to start at the 25-yard line for the Mustangs. Let's see what they got up their pocket to begin their second drive of the second half.
A long and grueling 45-second drive for the Iowa Central Tritons in their first offensive drive of this half. That's just too much time, Hank. I think we need to be slinging the ball down the field 1st and 10 every play.
Well, this is where it gets dangerous. Applewhite, they're a throwing football team, and when they get in this situation where they're down, not necessarily late yet in the second half, but probably going to see a little more looks throwing the ball, as they're going to hand off that time to Booker, as he's going to be clogged up on the left side by Christian and Dakari Randall.
Maybe they should start throwing the ball if they're going to run it like that.
That brings Dakari Randall to his 4th tackle of the game. He may be early honors for Defensive Player of the Game.
Well, we'll see here. Who do you have pegged for MVP so far there, Hank?
Too early to tell. Game's really close. I don't want to jinx anything. 11.5 minutes remain, 14-7. Maybe we're going to see that more broad later in this. Who I want to see get a little more involved in the offense for sure, Desna Washington.
Absolutely.
Leads the NJCAA in receiving touchdowns with 10. He's a guy that has only 1 reception for a first down today. As Dakari Randall goes back-to-back, gets yet another tackle. Look at him go. Oh, number 15, Dakari Randall. Gonna have to watch out for number 15 for the rest of this game, folks, because he's a monster.
Bring up 3rd and 13. Love to see this.
Triton Pride getting loud on the sideline. Boys are bouncing up and down, wearing their blue unis, and now it's a 3rd down and 13 for Shelton Applewhite Jr. and the guys in white. Let's see what Applewhite has up his sleeve. They're going to try to get the defensive line unit to jump off sides. Deontay Bryant, he was called on a false start earlier. He's a little more smarter. Make sure it doesn't happen twice. Applewhite is back to pass, looking over the middle of the field. He's going to have to step up, avoid pressure. Here we go, calling his own number.
Not a chance.
Deontay Bryant and Noah Epley. They're first to lay down the hammer.
3 and out. Love to see those.
With 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, you can feel the gravitational pull of momentum coming back to the home Iowa Central side.
You know, Hank, we're about to feel the gravitational pull of that second punt here in the first half for the Monroe Mustangs. Great to see.
Let's see if Calderona's kick is affected by the last time he was injured. No. That was one of his better punts of the day, I'd say. Is Come going to field it outside near the 35, going to make his way up to the 42. That's a gain of 7. Come the speedster. Way to go, running to the outside. That's going to bring it to a 1st and 10 for your Iowa Central Tritons. 9 minutes, 50 seconds remain. Folks, if you just joined the broadcast, welcome to Triton Nation Network. You're listening to Hank Ambrose and Wright Hellpiper on the call for the Iowa Central Tritons.
Looks like they're going to put the ball right around the 42-yard line. Start out the drive here. Hopefully Iowa Central can put it into the end zone again. Starting off, I mean, again with excellent field position, not nearly as good as last drive, but they should be able to work with this here and hopefully, I mean, at least get back down into field goal territory.
Byron's in the gun. We got trips out to the weak side. Stepping back to pass, looking for a fade route. Here we go, over towards Harris, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. No call. It's a no-fly zone over on the right side. 9 minutes and 45 seconds remain on the clock in the third quarter. The Tritons tried to take a shot early. I like the idea. Keep their defense on their toes, because now that's going to open up their passing defense. Probably going to have to bring their guys back, and the Tritons going to have a little more room to run heading into the rest of this game.
You know, and even on that incomplete pass I was talking about earlier, that Byron Jarrett just plays with that sort of swagger. He's cool, calm, and collected every single play. He knows exactly what he's going to do every single play. Fumble on the field.
Dalen Bodie, he'll fumble it as the Tritons going to have to race back towards it. It's looking like that's going to be a fumble and a turnover once more. The 4th turnover of the day for the Iowa Central Tritons. Like I said earlier, they're their worst own enemy.
They have been, it's basically, it's Iowa Central versus Iowa Central, and right now Iowa Central's winning, and I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but they're shooting themselves in the foot like almost every other drive here, and it's just unfortunate on the first play of the drive they let that one go. And they'll start out 1st and 10 on their own 29-yard line. 9:36 left to play in the third.
All right, what's the tail of the tape for the rest of this third quarter? 9.5 minutes remain. Shelton Applewhite is in the pistol. Looking like a handoff for Booker. He's going to cut up field to avoid Dakari Randall, and he's going to be forced back. This linebacking unit, I don't know who talked to the linebackers in the halftime speech, but it worked out because they have been involved in every single tackle thus far to begin the third quarter.
I told you, Hank, it's the Sharks. It's the Sharks out there.
Sharks.
Every single play. You know, when you swim in dangerous waters, you run the risk of getting messed up by a shark, and that's what's been happening here in the second half as well as the first half. Absolutely going nowhere.
2nd and 12 for the Iowa Central Tritons.
Trying to get them to jump off sides here. They won't get it. 2nd and 12. He'll take the shotgun pass here. He elects to pass, looking to his right. He'll throw it all the way up in the air, down the field. He's wide open. He's got it. Touchdown.
Burns Kone. Baal Kone is going to get burnt on the play as that one was sent out wide. That's going to be, what was that, a near 40-yard touchdown pass out of a fade route. Sent over towards LaMarcus Brand, who's leading them in receptions to begin the second half. Now he's going to come away with a receiving touchdown. The Mustangs are right back into this one. 14-13 before the PAT. Let's see what they got up their sleeve for this upcoming bout.
Absolutely burnt on that last one, and it's just not even us shooting ourselves in the foot anymore. It's just blown coverage there. Got it away from him. Almost blocked there on that extra point, but it will go up and good. That'll bring your score now 14-14, all tied up here. 8:42 left to go in the third quarter, and Tritons are going to be coming back out on offense here in just a moment. See if they can answer to that touchdown with a touchdown or a field goal of their own. They've got plenty of time. It's been a very close game all game long. See what we can do here.
Yeah, the Tritons are going to come out once more, returning the kickoff for the third time in this one. So far, looking like it's going to be another shootout. Like we said, both these teams have only played each other one other time in school history, back into the 2018 Graphic Edge Bowl, and that was a thriller. Went down to the fourth quarter where the Tritons scored on top, and then in one of the last working attempts for Monroe College, they forced a pick six that took it to the house, bringing the final score 34-20. So we're looking down at the field right now, looking like we have a new kickoff kicker for Monroe College. That was kicked off by Idrissa Nikiema, who fielded it down near the 15. Here we go, got wheels. That's Anik McKenzie, who's been very quiet today. I haven't been able to see him touch the ball once. McKenzie gets involved early. He's going to run it down over. Way to go. Iowa Central Tritons going to be marked up in pretty good field position as he crossed, I believe he crossed the 40. Let's see where they pin him. A little shy of it.
39. Close enough, Hank. Close enough. Mark him at the 39-yard line. Once again, decent field position. We'll see if we can hang on to the ball this time. Man, just rough going here so far. Other than the touchdown here in the second half, it's been a little bit of rough going for the Tritons. We'll see if they can figure something out here as a flag is thrown on the first play of the drive.
More than likely going to be called as a false start.
False start, number 77 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
False start, 5-yard penalty. Once again, not a great start to the drive by Iowa Central.
So Byron Jarrett, he's out there with Bodie. I see 4 total wide receivers out there. Doubles formation on each side of the plane as here we go with Wiedemann. He's in motion, going to bring over a trips. RPO working outside, going to have to fire. Wide open, Jordan Coombe. Jordan, come. Make a man miss. He's going to travel down the sideline before he's forced out of bounds. Number 3 just went for 30.
Woo!
The Joker, Jordan Coombe, he's running up and down the field, and that's so good to see him go out in open area like a gazelle. He's a guy that he's had some hamstring difficulties earlier on in the season. I'm happy that he's ready. His legs are fresh and ready to go. That was smooth as butter.
Yes, sir. Back in wonderful field position here for the Tritons. We'll see if they can get something going here on this run. Oh!
RPO. Byron Jarrett calling his own number. Ooh.
A little bit of a bootleg run there, but it works out.
And Byron Jarrett, he wants in the end zone. He wants to call his own number. You saw it last drive when the Tritons scored inside the 5-yard line. Really wanted to get the rushing touchdown to go to his name, which I'll be darned if he doesn't get a rushing touchdown before the end of this. He is top 10 in rushing touchdowns in the whole entire NJCAA, despite being a quarterback with a total of 10.
Well,
here we go with
when you have a mobile, agile quarterback like that, it's hard to keep him out of the end zone.
Oh yeah. Trips out to the weak side, a lone receiver on the right. Gonna hand off Bodie. Bodie breaks free. Gonna break another tackle before he's brought down by a double leg takedown, wrestling style here in Iowa in the Unidome. That'll be another Iowa Central Triton first down.
You know, Hank, whether this second half turns out to be a stalemate, just like the first half was, only 14 combined total points, I'd rather see a shootout here. A little bit more fun to watch, a little bit more fun to commentate on. You know, I'm good with a shootout as long as Monroe's not shooting back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It looked like some miscommunication on the field as we had to hear in from an audible from Coach Jesse Montalto. Trips on the weak side as we're running the same formation. Shotgun. Looking back to pass. Byron Jarrett going to have to scramble. He's going to evade pressure. Rolling to his right. He was going to fire. He breaks a tackle. Oh, my goodness. He breaks a tackle and breaks an ankle as he runs down to about a 5-yard pickup. He was going to send it on over towards Madison Ridgway, who wears the number 8. He's been a little quiet today as well, as he was wide open, but he tripped over himself, barring towards the end zone. So now it's going to be a 2nd down and 7 officially. The Tritons are marked on the 15 of the Mustang side.
You know what that slide reminds me of, Hank?
What's that?
I saw a highlight yesterday from the Pittsburgh Panthers football game where they played Wake Forest, won that game. Pittsburgh's quarterback, Kenny Pickett, had a fake slide and ran it in for a touchdown. It was absolutely insane. First time I've ever seen anything like that. It's absolutely crazy. Do you think that's a move that, would serve Byron well? You think he could do that?
He's the fastest guy that's over 200 pounds I've ever seen. The fastest guy over 220 pounds, fastest guy that's over 6'3" I've ever seen. So I'm sure he's agile enough. They're going to draw a man offside. Byron Jarrett with the hard count. He got that going for the 2nd time today as we're still in the middle of the 3rd quarter. Expect that to happen again.
Neutral zone
precisely.
infraction. 57 on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
As that's going to be called as a neutral zone infraction. We've exactly 5 minutes, 41 seconds remaining as the score has stayed tied at 14 for the past few minutes.
They are well within field goal range now, so they can at least, put 3 up there. 3rd down and 3 now.
I'm looking at a substitution. Look at Desna Washington. Stands alone on the far right side. They're going to bring him back. Also have another wide receiver out there blocking back in formation in the gun. Desna runs in motion. They're going to look for a handoff. RPO to Bodie. Yes, sir. Roll out the red carpet for Dalen Bodie as he punches it in for 6 once more. Make it back-to-back touchdowns for the bad Mamma Jamma that wears blue. Number 25, Dalen Bodie.
Walks in, absolutely nobody around. Just the biggest possible hole you could have from the offensive lineman, putting in work there. Get him back in the end zone today. 20-14. Hopefully about to be 21-14. We might have a shootout here. In the first 10 minutes in the second half, we already have more points on the board than we did in the entire first half.
That's not the Mustangs logo. I just realized that. As we're looking down at the PAT, it is up and in for Colin Swigman. 21-14, 5 minutes and 13 seconds remain in quarter number 3. So far, this has been an excellent game thus far. You're listening to Hank Ambrose and Wright Hillpiper on the call for the Iowa Central Tritons. We have an injured Mustang down. It's number 22. Let me pull out my roster sheet. I don't have his name at the top of my head. Number 22 belongs to Ty Martin, Jr., who was actually on a fumble recovery play when he picked it up. He was on, I don't think it was the first, I think it was the second fumble that Byron Jarrett had when he had that missed handoff, that failed handoff to Dalen Bodie when they were inside their own 10-yard line. That's who ended up with it. Right now, maybe just a cramp. Long trip from New York, of course, that's where Monroe Community College is. As we're looking down, of course, we talked a little bit about that. Maybe we got some jet lag coming into this one, as that was definitely a possibility as they had to fly here. As the Tritons, they just took about an hour and a half long drive.
Just to cruise down the highway.
Yeah, just a cruise.
About 80 miles away from the great town of Fort Dodge over there.
It was a Highway 20 ride, Zach Brown style, for the Iowa Central Tritons. 5:15 remains in the third quarter, 21-14, as it looks like we're going to see Henderson get up, and he's going to make his way off the sideline via help from his teammate, number 3, Jernavasant Guimale.
Lots of odd names on that Monroe team. Coming out of the Bronx in New York. Getting ready to kick off here is the Tritons. They get him off onto the sideline. 5:13 left to play in the third quarter. 21-14 in favor of your Iowa Central Tritons. Let's see a turnover here, Hank. How about that?
Maybe on the kickoff.
Maybe.
Swigman is lining up to kick. Look how loud and crazy the band is getting. With the cheerleaders, it's a full house here over in the Unidome on the Triton side. Big kick up in the air, and here we go.
He'll have to return this one. We'll see what he can do.
Here come the Sharks. Uh-oh, Colin Swigman may be the last guy to be there.
Ooh.
As we had an ankle tackle. That was an ankle pick. I didn't see who made the tackle as it was getting right out of my line of sight, but still happened, and it happened around the 45-yard line. Let's see where they place him officially.
Couldn't quite tell either. Looked like it was number 80 on Iowa Central's coverage team there.
So as they look down, 21-14 to score, 5 minutes and 6 seconds remain in quarter number 3.
They'll spot the ball right at the 43-yard line.
43 officially. So far, Monroe has only one scoring drive in this quarter, and it was in pretty good field position. So I like my chances against this Monroe squad in the third quarter. As Applewhite steps back, he's going to have to step forward. He'll sling it forward. Oh, my goodness, as that was almost rallied in from a circus type of grab. Major Williams was there on coverage.
Almost had the pick, Major Williams did.
What an awkward throw that had to be made. He was like diving. Reminded me a little bit about the throws you see Patrick Mahomes throws, as he had to dive and almost cherry pop it up. And it was really just a tip-off, really. It was a rebound for the ball. Neither guy came down with it. We're going to see a 2nd and 10 on the 43 now. Applewhite trying to do one of Byron Jarrett's hard counts. Has it worked yet for him? Maybe once.
Maybe once.
I think they got Antonio Harris just one time.
He's just not the same.
Not the same as our Byron. As Applewhite's back the pass, he's looking long. He'll step up.
He's got pressure, and he's down.
A sea of blue is going to surround him. As we're looking down at Antonio Harris and Bryant Barrier, they were there on the sack to send down Applewhite.
Call it 3rd down and 11. Iowa Central's defense is all over this Monroe offense so far. They had the 1 touchdown earlier, but nothing getting going here in this drive in the second half. I'm hoping, maybe a 3rd and out here. We'll see. Try to draw them off sides once more, and they won't get them.
Okay, in the gun, doubles are set out. We got 2 safeties spread out wide as I'm looking down. 3 linebackers are also in the set. They send 4. Applewhite out wide. It's a pick.
It's picked
Deontay
off.
Nelson. Make it number 4 on the season for the Iowa Central Tritons. Deontay Nelson. Way to go, big man.
How many interceptions is that now this game, Hank? Is that 2 now that we've gotten? Or is that's just the first one?
Well, that's the first one thrown by Applewhite as Byron Jarrett threw another one, so I guess it's 2 in total, but that's Applewhite's first interception he's thrown, and that is Deontay Nelson's 4th pick of the season. He's one of those returning sophomore studs that got down there. Deontay Nelson comes up with a huge save. That looked like an open out route, really, out to their wide receiver, Harrison, but did not fall in their favor. So now the Tritons take over on the 50. 4 minutes, 2 seconds remain. Let's see if the Tritons can roll out the red carpet once more before the end of quarter number 3. Blocking back in formation. Ooh, it looks like I also see, well, the play will be called dead, so we're going to just sit on it for the time being.
False start. Everybody by the center. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
You gotta love those. I know it's against Iowa Central, and that's not great, but you gotta love those calls. Those false starts, everyone but the center. When the center just forgets the count sometimes, and that happens. Not very often. You see it a few times, every once in a while. I need a new one.
Everyone but the center was the call. 21-14 going to remain the score. No time ticked off the clock.
1st and 15.
Byron
go up
Jarrett.
on a run play here, and he'll get swallowed at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, trying to feed it back to our workhorse back, Dalen Bodie, who is a guy who's been so impressive to watch throughout his career as an Iowa Central Triton. It wasn't the starter last year, but he took over after our starting running back, Washington, had gotten injured about halfway through the season, at the back half towards the season, and he was an instant impact. He didn't get a lot of playing time at the beginning of the season, but right away he came in, played a lot of minutes for the Iowa Central Tritons, was going to be the starter this season. He is the starter this season. He's been running all over the field in the Unidome today. As we're looking down at the field, both guys in the gun, I see double spread out to the weak side. Kyle Wiedemann also in at tight end. Here goes Byron. He's roaming out right. Back down, and I believe that was down to Carson Hilsenbreck.
We'll see if they give him the first here. It'll be close, and it looks like they'll be just about a yard short of it. Maybe a half yard.
Hilsenbreck, that's his first catch of the game. Yeah, he made the catch, and he had open lanes in front of him, but when he ran with the football, really tripped over himself. We've seen that happen a few times.
Slippery turf, I tell you what.
Well, that, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, that's bound to happen. Neither of these teams have played in the Unidome or any type of dome in over 2 seasons. So, of course, that's bound to happen. Different turf, different field, different way of running. As it's been running with Dalen Bodie, as he's going to carry his way forward for a pickup of at least 5, maybe 6 to 7 yards, and he's lunging his way forward for another Triton first down.
Looks like he may have taken a shot to the crown of his helmet there as he was diving forward. Didn't take any more time to get up, though.
No, he didn't. Well,
Fast
here we
to get
go.
up.
21-14 is your score. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remain here. The Tritons are moving down the field. They're getting in good field position to possibly go up by 2 possessions. Jarrett going to take the snap out of the gun. He's going to roll outside. What a block by Bodie, and he's going to get a pump fake. Byron Jarrett's got the swagger. He's working outside.
Cool, calm, collected, knows exactly what he's doing all the time, like you said, with that pump fake.
Uh-oh. And it looks like we got Wills is down on the field. They're going to go over there and make sure he's okay. We got some extra commotion on the field. We got some injured players. We got to get our injured players out the field you don't want to see a fight, but especially with an injured player involved.
Not sure what happened there. Had an injured player.
From what I saw, our team was upset because Byron Jarrett, they appeared that it looked like he was hit out of bounds late. They were wanting a late hit called, didn't get called, and then words were exchanged between the O-line and the D-line. And
yep, 71 came up to a defensive player for Monroe who was up in the face of Byron Jarrett. And I don't think there's ever a time at any level of football that you'll see where a defensive player gets up in the quarterback's face and an offensive lineman doesn't come over and get up in his face. You don't touch the quarterback. It doesn't happen. That's a cardinal sin in football. If you're a defensive player, you touch the quarterback after the play, you're gonna have a hurting going on.
Yep. Well, here we go. It's a 2nd and short, 2nd and 3 officially. We're looking at the ball on the 27. Byron Jarrett back to pass. He's gonna have to scramble. Use his legs. Fire outside, and that's the first souvenir of the game. Well, almost.
Almost.
Went over to the crowd section. Almost hit a Monroe fan over there.
No foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback's out of pocket.
Looks like they threw a flag initially on Byron Jarrett for intentional grounding, but he was indeed out of the pocket, so they will pick that flag up.
So with the clock stopped now at 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining in the third quarter, it's a 3rd down and about 3 as the ball's marked on the 27 of Monroe's side. This is a huge 3rd down conversion. They get the 1st down. They're moving the football inside the red zone with an opportunity to go up 2 possessions. This could very well be the tail of the tape for the rest of the game, the tone setter. Jarrett gets a snap. He's looking for a short pass. No one's there. He's going to have to step up. Fumble! Jump on it.
He'll get it back, and he'll get a few yards with it as well. Well, he'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, my goodness.
How many fumbles does he have? What is that, his 3rd now? At least. His 3rd fumble this game.
And a lot of them have came just off of blindside hits, though. That's the thing. It's not like he's just can't hang on to the football. Like as we see with that last one right there, he extended his arm wide where there was no protection, and then it got called down as a fumble, of course. And luckily, he jumped on it. But the other ones was a miscommunication between him and Dalen Bodie as well, inside the Triton 10. Here we go, though. We got to hurry up with the broadcast. 55 seconds remain, but the Tritons are going for it. On 4th down, it's a 4th down and 3. Here we go. They're going to send Wiedemann in motion. Trips out to the strong side. Jarrett back to pass. He's looking for an open man. He'll find a wide open man. He's running to the outside. I believe it's Nick McKenzie, and he's still running with the football. Oh, my goodness.
Abysmal defense there by Monroe College, and he will go in for the score. Got to play to the end. Got to play to the end. Got to play to the whistle every time. They had him pinned on the sideline, too, and just couldn't shove him out of bounds. They just let him go. Let him go right into the end zone.
For a moment, I thought it was Anik McKenzie because Anik used to be number 80 last season, as I'm thinking back to last season. But now we're looking down on the field. That's actually Isaiah Hazlitt. So way to go. He's the freshman out of Peoria, Illinois, to bring it up 2 possessions for the Iowa Central Tritons. Got his first reception of the day, and it was for a touchdown. 27-14 before the PAT. 34 seconds remain in the third quarter. A flag is thrown. Let's see what the call is.
Most likely an offsides here, but we'll see.
Disconcerting act of the defense number 4 caused the offense to false start. That penalty will be declined. Retry.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. A disconcerting act that caused the offense to false start.
Which usually means he swore at him or he said something disrespectful to get him forward, which usually is even called as a personal foul. So he's quite lucky that that's not called as a personal.
He also may have been imitating the snap as well. Like moving his hands around up there, doing something. But
Swigman's kick. It's going to be up and in. He's 4 for 4 on the day from PAT, and he's kicked really good kickoff so far in this one. We've yet to see Kone take a punt, I believe, right, in the second half?
I don't think he has yet.
28-14 is the score. 34 seconds remain as we're still looking down at Applewhite. Has yet to reach 100 yards throwing on the day. The Tritons are steamrolling the Mustangs at the start of the second half. Still got a whole quarter to play though, right? A lot of football to be played in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Man, what do you think about the game so far?
I think that, you know, in the first half, it was pretty much a stalemate for both sides. A complete and total defensive battle, but I think both offenses now, even Monroe, I think they're starting to adjust and starting to get into their groove a little bit and start to figure out, you know, what they need to do with the ball when they're on offense to put it into the end zone. But obviously, Iowa Central has gotten a lot more figured out after halftime to be able to put the ball in the end zone twice now, go up by 2 scores, and if they continue playing, you know, the way that they are now, they're easily they're easily going to win this game. Set for kickoff now.
It's going to travel back, and that's going to be called down as a fair catch, and he caught it.
He caught that at the 1-yard line. There is no way they are going to call that a touchback.
I think they will just call it as a touchback. Now, usually that's called down as, of course, down at the 1. But so for these regulations, really what happened is it comes down to the referees.
Whether they think it'll go into the end zone or not, I gotcha.
Yeah, so that was the call right there. So the Monroe Mustangs, they'll take over on the 25. Folks, there's 34 seconds remaining in the third quarter. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to Triton Nation Network, checking out the broadcast today. I had a great conversation with Desna Washington and Byron Jarrett pregame and talked a little bit about them, about cooking on their offense, what they need to do to go up against Monroe College. That's going to be an interview that'll be up next in about 25 seconds of game clock down. But hang on now, we do have an injury on the field, it looks like. So maybe in a little bit.
It's a Monroe player.
As you heard that, Deontay Bryant got the tackle on the field.
Sure, what's going on here? Iowa Central player, I believe, was Major Williams, attempted to help him up after it happened and got waved off by quite a few Monroe players there. Hopefully he's okay. He is sitting up now. They've gotten just the wind knocked out of him or something.
Do you see the number? Is it 75?
I think so. I can't quite tell from here. It looks like 71.
71 is Savion Herring, offensive lineman from Kearney, New Jersey. 6'5", 310 pounds. Looks like he may stay out there even. No, they're going to let him out.
Well, he does have to come off for at least one play.
Yeah.
After staying down after the play like that, usually they just delegate whether a coach comes out onto the field or not, or whether a trainer has to come out, whether they pop back up quickly or not.
So we're going to resume the clock here. 12 seconds remain. It's a 2nd down and 5 for Applewhite and the Stangs. Let's see what they got up their sleeve. Applewhite is back to pass. He's looking short. He will dump short. And over there on the coverage that time was an Iowa Central Triton linebacker who was there just in time to swat that one free, Dion Coleman.
With 1 second left on the clock in this third quarter, honestly, I think, you know, defensive player of the game, any one of those Iowa Central linebackers so far. It could go to anyone.
Here we go now. About to resume the contest here, as just one play will remain before the end of quarter number 3.
Trying to get them to hop off sides once again, and once again they won't get it.
It's a 3rd and 4, and you certainly don't want to start the fourth quarter punting. Applewhite going to have to evade pressure. He's going to step up, call his own number. Did a fumble happen?
Not sure.
Well, if it happened or if it didn't, Monroe still got on top of it. It's going to treat us into quarter number 4 as we have an injury on the field. We're going to tend to him, make sure he's okay. Folks, I tell you what, they're going to go check him out, make sure he's okay. I'll report it back to you guys to make sure he is and can play the rest of this game. But, folks, we're going to take a cut over towards the interview I had with Byron Jarrett and Desna Washington in just a few moments here. So far, the score, 28-14. We'll be back after this short break. 52-40. So we should be good. Because they'll have to switch field and then. Yeah. Well, they have an injury on the field still, too. Usually these take around like 5 minutes. But with the injury, it may take longer. If we can sneak in the other interview in here, do you have that downloaded? With CJ? Yeah, because we missed that one. And I'd love to get that played sometime. We'll be fine. 50 seconds. We'll probably miss the first play, but it's just a punt.
I'm so happy I've got to broadcast you throughout your tenure here as an Iowa Central Triton, but got a big game Sunday.
Yes, sir.
What can Triton Nation look forward to for the game this upcoming Sunday?
Fast tempo offense and a lot of points.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Let's go Iowa Central Tritons. Byron,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for
Thank you.
joining the broadcast
Yes,
with
sir.
me, and let's do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, Triton Nation. We are here in the Unidome. 14 minutes, 45 seconds remain here in this quarter. We just missed the punt. Basically, Mustangs, they got it down to the Triton 20-yard line. That was the only play we had missed as they began the quarter punting it. As that one's going to be a handoff to Bodie for about a 7-yard gain. 14 and a half minutes remain in this quarter. It's going to be a 2nd down and 3 for Byron Jarrett and the boys in blue.
You know, Hank, you know what would make my day?
What's that?
If the Iowa Central Tritons ran down the field for one more touchdown.
That'd be awesome.
I'd like to see one more today at least.
Go ahead early. Jarrett's back to pass. He's looking long. He will fire. Desno Washington in stride. Isaiah Hazlitt was also there, trailing behind him as the pass was just a little off. 14 minutes and 8 seconds will remain in the fourth quarter.
Led him just a little too far, and he even laid out for that one, couldn't quite reach it.
Yep.
You know, and Byron Jarrett is one of those quarterbacks that is so incredibly talented when it comes to hitting players in stride, and just overthrew him just a little bit, led him just a little bit too far there. But regardless, it will end up being 3rd down and 3 now. So Iowa Central tries to get something figured out.
So we're looking down at a shotgun formation. Bodie going to get the handoff. He's going to lunge forward. Going to be close to the 1st down. On a second effort, he might have get there. Let's see where they place the ball. Bodie signals forward for a 1st down. And in fact, he will have another Triton 1st down. Looks like we got another injury on the field.
Monroe player very, very slow to get up there.
Which, by the way, with that injury update, offensive lineman number 76, Kadeem Willis, the freshman offensive lineman from Raleigh, North Carolina, got injured right as we were heading into my interview. I'm reporting that he got up and off the field with help from some of his players. He's not checked back into the contest, of course. They have not been on offense, too. But he was grabbing at his leg. I'll make sure to report if I see him on the sideline or if I see him back into the game. as we see that defensive lineman get up. He appears to be okay, so that's good news. He gets helped up by one of his trainers. That's Nick Evans.
He went down, I believe, seeing the delay from the live stream, I believe that was some sort of right wrist injury when he went down. He came down a little awkward, helping out with the tackle there, maybe just landed on it a little wrong.
Who at half, Nick Evans was leading Monroe in tackles with 7. So there you go. Never like to see injuries, especially with a great player like he is. Shotgun formation, blocking back in formation, doubles on the weak side. Byron Jarrett wearing the lucky 7. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. Going to be a handoff. No, it's going to be a fake handoff. Byron Jarrett going to scramble to the right, going to evade a tackler, can't evade the second one. He's going to be close to a first down. They may give it to him. Yes, sirree. Michael Worth and the rest of the chain gang going to move the chains past the 40-yard line. It's another Triton first down.
Tritons consistently moving the ball down the field in this second half, and Monroe so far just has not been able to stop them at all.
Nope. 13-15 remains in the fourth quarter. Here we go with the Tritons. A hurry-up offense. It's a patent for the Iowa Central Tritons. Byron Jarrett back to pass. He will fire for Bodie. Bodie had to extend his left arm. Just couldn't haul it in. The pass was a little off.
Bodie wide open there around the right sideline, in between the hashes and the numbers there. Once again, Byron Jarrett just leading him a little too far, getting a little eager there, excuse me.
And, you know, you got to take this into factor now, right? It's the fourth quarter, 13 minutes, 10 seconds remain, and a lot of sophomores are on the field right now playing their last form of football at the collegiate level or for their community college team. So emotions are going to be running high. There's going to be a lot of fires throughout the rest of the game as Dalen Bodie
slips a tackle and gets a few more yards after contact.
It's about a 6-yard gain.
And he got all 6 of those yards after contact as well.
Goodness. Bodie has been so impressive today. He may be my MVP of the game.
Well, I think so far he's definitely had the best performance on Iowa Central's offensive side of the ball. I'd say offensive, definitely the most valuable player on the offensive side of the ball for Iowa Central so far in this game. Definitely had the biggest impact.
Trips out to the weak side. Byron Jarrett going to be back to pass. He's looking long. He's looking to fire. Here we go. It's a big pass. Drop the pick.
That one underthrown that time. And you're right. In and out of the hands of that defender there, and it looks like Iowa Central is going to elect a punt for the first time this half.
Andre Gordon was the D-back that was back there that had the ball right in his hands, and you know, knowing that that was a 3-and-out situation, it didn't matter much, knowing that it looks like the Tritons may be punting this ball back to the Mustangs, but how huge would have that been if Gordon just hung on to the ball?
Play stopped here. We got a flag.
Got too many people on the field, maybe? 8? Yes, we do. I got 12 on the Triton side.
Illegal substitution on the offense. Player did not get inside the 9-yard tick marks. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And I don't hate that because the Tritons are moving back. Now they're going to be having the ball placed on their 40. That means Kone is going to be punting from about the 28. You know, if he can get 40, 50 yards on this punt, that's going to be traveling back to inside the 25-yard line on the Monroe side.
40, 50-yard punt, maybe take an Iowa Central bounce here, gain an extra, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards.
Cone's kick.
We'll see.
Is up. Here we go. It will take a big stride. Major Williams going to miss a tackle. That doesn't happen often. Uh-oh, racing to the outside. How to get there in time to push him and shove him out of bounds. Uh-oh. We got a Triton down on the field. He's up. He's going to just limp off, it looks like.
I believe that's 53 for the Tritons there. And there is a flag on the play as well over by the Iowa Central sideline.
During the return, holding, number 38 of the return team. 10-yard penalty for the spot of that foul. Will be first down.
We'll take that as well.
Under 12 minutes to play here. I want to see, do you see 76 out there?
76, which side of the ball there, Hank?
on the offensive line unit for Monroe College. He had the injury right before the end of the third quarter. I just want to see if he went back out there on offense.
I think I see him out there. I believe.
I just see 71. No.
Maybe not.
No, he's not out there. So he's a starting offensive lineman. He appears maybe out the rest of the game, which you don't want that.
Big loss for the Monroe Mustangs here.
It is huge. Applewhite, though, he's going to fire deep. What a pretty pass, and he's going to stay in bounds. He's racing to the end zone, going coast to coast. What a dime that time on the other end of the field to Halim Dixon King.
Absolute monster of a pass there. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch. I don't know. Hopefully Iowa Central's not starting to lack a little bit on the defensive side of the ball.
Dixon King is dangerous when it comes to those fade routes. That's the second time he's burned one of our corners. As he had the touchdown earlier, he's looking like he's heating up the hot pocket, right?
Heating up the hot pocket, I agree.
11 and a half minutes remain, and now Monroe College, they want the momentum back. Ball's going to be placed on the 38. Applewhite, he's back. He'll hand off to Booker, who's been quiet since the start of the second half. I don't recall him getting a yard in the third quarter. He's going to do a stiff arm and might get back to the line of scrimmage, and they'll give him that and 1. It's a gain of 1. A 2nd and 9 is yet to come for Monroe, and they're going to do a hurry-up offense. 11 minutes remain. Now we're getting to that point of the game where you got to consider doing hurry-up offense.
Absolutely.
Not much of a choice.
You know, Hankin, I don't mind if, Monroe decides to heat up their hot pockets a little bit. As long as they don't start cooking with canola oil, I think we should be fine for the rest of the game. We'll see. That one got me earlier when you said that.
That one comes from the great Rob Jones, my mentor in the broadcasting career, and means a lot to me, so I love to use some of his words of wisdom sometimes in my broadcasts.
Deep shot here. I had to take my headset off for that one. I couldn't hold my laughter aside there, but another deep shot for Monroe. Couldn't quite get there. Slow to get up. He's that Monroe receiver over there, number 7.
That was Elijah Perry that was in on the coverage. He's back in at safety. To me, it's
number 9 on the defense. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Holding on the defense. That's
Deontay Nelson that got called.
Yep.
So also not in the game right now, CJ Christian. So I don't know if he's on the sideline or what happened. I didn't see him limp off the field or appear to be injured or anything, but Elijah Perry is in for CJ Christian. 28-14, 10.5 minutes remain. It's a 1st down and 10 for the Mustangs. Shotgun formation. Doubles on the weak side. Going to fake the handoff going over towards the middle of the field. Would have been blasted by Deontay Nelson as 83's looking for a defensive pass interference call. He's not going to get it.
Another Triton down on the field.
Oh.
See who that is. Thought at first it was Major Williams, but that's not it. Can't quite tell who that is. I believe that's
Deontay.
number 9 there.
Deontay Nelson's down, who just had the defensive hold call go against him. He's the one that had the interception earlier in this game.
And it looks like that's probably going to be a cramp there.
Well, I hope so. Our training staff and Coach Montalto are going to go over there and check him out. So that's not good. Mustangs, they're approaching inside the 25-yard line, the red zone, matter of fact. And that means 2 of our starting defensive players are out. Well, Deontay Nelson does get up to his own power. He's walking off the sideline. But now we're going to have 2 non-starters out there in at defensive back, one at safety being Perry, and then the other one being a cornerback. I don't know who that will be yet. We'll yet to see who it is. I mean, maybe we'll just send 4 linebackers out there, and maybe we'll just switch Major Williams to a cornerback. That's a position he played early in his collegiate career. Let's see.
Oh, I'm sure he'd do just fine at that position, too. And I don't know. We'll see how Iowa Central decides to come out here defensively.
So what they do is they're going to actually have a switch up at cornerback. They're not going to send an extra linebacker out there. It's 34. I don't have him on my roster sheet, but I can tell you I believe who it is Cassidy. I believe it's Cassidy out there.
Run up the middle here. He's got a little bit of a lane up the left sideline. He'll get tackled right around. Appears to be right around the 17-yard line there.
And that was Perry Slater that got there in time to drag him down. It's going to be a 3rd down. Oh, man, it was close to a first down. I almost wanted to call it right, but 10 minutes remain. Now, Monroe, they got to be a little particular with how they want to call this next play.
What are you thinking here, Hank? Third and short, inside the red zone. What do you think they're going to try here? If I had to guess, I'd say, you know, that run to the outside's been working for them a lot today, but I don't know if they'll go back to it. The counters have been good. Oh yeah, up in the pistol formation.
As they motion to a shotgun, they will hand off inside zone. Got the easy yardage ahead of them. Noah Epley is going to bring him down with Perry Slater. So Perry Slater, I'm not for sure if he has a solo tackle yet in this game, but he's been in a hefty sum of gang tackles, team tackles.
Absolutely, and Iowa Central is more of that, you know, team tackle style of play. They don't make, you know, a whole lot of tackles in the open field one-on-one.
Well, they don't need to. Not a lot of guys can get past our linebackers.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is great to see that the team effort has been working out a lot for Iowa Central today.
Okay, here we go in the gun. Double spread out to the strong side. Applewhite looking long, looking for the end zone. Here it comes. Put it on a dime and put it in the end zone. Got right over the head of the substitution, Perry Slater. They're going to attack our secondary unit with the 2 injuries we had in our secondary. And that's going to be a touchdown for the Mustangs with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Uh-oh, Tritons might be in trouble.
Well, you know, we're still up by 1 touchdown, so they need 1 more to score. If we can drive down and, you know, put 3 more points on the board, that still puts it back within a 2-possession game for the Mustangs. They're still down by at least a touchdown and an extra point. That would tie the game pending this extra point, which does go up and through. 21-28, Iowa Central with the ball here. And going to be some unsportsmanlike conduct penalties coming out.
We got pushing and shoving. Let's see the call here. Rashawn Tompkins, by the way, was the tight end that made that touchdown grab to bring it just to a 1-possession game for the Iowa Central Tritons, as they're on top against Monroe College. As we wait in on the call from the head officials, not for sure on the call yet.
Saw on the replay there that one of the Monroe College Mustangs absolutely body slammed a player from Iowa Central. I couldn't quite tell who either of them were. Just caught it out of the corner of my eye, but I don't know if they're going to throw one for that or just for the, you know, the extracurricular after the fact. But refs are discussing it now. We'll see what they decide to do.
We have fouls on both teams. A personal foul against the offense, number 43. We also have personal foul against the defense, number 68. Those penalties were offset.
So there you go, personal foul against each side, gonna offset. So we'll have 9 minutes remaining, 28-21, folks. If you just tuned in the broadcast, welcome. You're in for a stellar performance here by both community college. Both are ranked inside the top 10. Iowa Central, the 10th-ranked team in the nation, as Monroe Community College is ranked at 6. In the broadcast booth for us tonight, you're listening to myself, Hank Ambrose on the call, joined alongside Wright Hillpiper. So we made the trip from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Cedar Falls. What a trip it's been. Iowa Central Tritons been dominant this season. They've only lost to 1 team, and it was against the number 1 ranked Iowa Western Reavers. They lost to them twice. Now we're looking down on the field. Monroe College, they've lost to none, nada. They could be in spare to losing their first match tonight. They almost lost against Lackawanna College earlier on in the season. Bialcone reached out for the ball. Now he has to return it. He's making his way up the field. He'll run to the outside. He got tabletoped and brought down. Ooh.
Well, not only is Monroe undefeated, but some notable wins for him this season. Earlier this season, Georgia Military, number 12, beat them 34-16, and the number 1 team in Division III, Nassau Community College, they beat them 9-7 in a barn burner there. Iowa Central player was down on the play, but is up and on his way now. Still take over first down and 10. And I believe that was Major Williams who was down. I don't think he was hurt. I think he was just a little upset with himself there.
Here we go, back, trotting out on offense. It's been a little while since we've seen the Tritons take the storm. Here we go, Byron Jarrett in the gun with Dalen Bodie. He's going to motion him to his weak side. Got trips sprung out to the right side and a lone receiver on the far left. Of Jarrett, it's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to run to the left. He's going to put his shoulder down to try and truck a linebacker. Not going to work out in his favor. That's Andrew Harden.
This will be the 6th offensive drive for the Tritons in the second half. And so far, or excuse me, their last few have ended in a touchdown, a fumble, a touchdown, and a punt. So we'll see what they can get going here.
Jarrett's going to spring one outside to Anik McKenzie. He's a return man. Uh-oh. Big defensive stop. Tritons are facing a 3 and out. Not looking good on that side. That was a big-time tackle coming from their defensive back this time. It was number 22, Ty Martin, who was injured earlier. It's good to see he's back in. Monroe College, look at them get hyped on the sideline.
They are indeed. They're cheering on their teammates there. Just under 8 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Tritons still lead 28-21. Coming up on a 3rd and 10 now.
Jarrett, play action. Back to pass, he's looking long. He will fire for Wiedemann.
Wide open is Wiedemann.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cherry Picker got all the way down past the 50, sprung his way forward past the 40, and danced around a man on the 30 to get brought down and out of bounds. Cal Wiedemann.
Let's see where Byron threw this ball from. He's going to set his feet right around the 3-4 yard line, bombs it all the way down to the 35 at the other end of the field. Insane pass, insane catch. Wiedemann wide open. Nobody within 10 yards of him. Easy pass, easy catch. All the way down, almost inside the red zone now for the Tritons.
And that is a sour, sour taste for Monroe as Bodie travels his way forward for a pickup of at least 6, maybe 7.
Thought he might have broke free there too on that one.
Yeah, he tripped forward a little bit, making it look like he would have been able to stay up, but no. Right when Byron Jarrett thought, or right when Monroe thought that they were coming back into it, Byron Jarrett had another answer for him with that long pass.
Bring up a 2nd and about 4 now, maybe 3.
6.5 minutes remain. Jarrett, punch it away. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He wanted to call it for his own number. Maybe he would have had a better time if handed off to Bodie. And now look at that. That was great sportsmanship by Byron Jarrett as he helped out that defensive back, Michael LaFile, who actually even had the interception earlier, I believe, for them. So he helped them off up the ground. Just a great, great example to play football on the field. Props to Byron Jarrett.
Absolutely. And, you know, you can never get enough of sportsmanship, especially at the collegiate level, because, you know, the higher level you get in football, the less and less sportsmanship you tend to see. You know, you don't see NFL players helping up opposing teams all that often. It does happen sometimes, but it just happens less and less as Byron Jarrett takes off right up the middle and slides down right around the 15-yard line. Sorry, Hank, I didn't mean to steal your call there.
Oh, you're good. Byron Jarrett came in a big way, got another Triton first down, 5.5 minutes away. Triton's going to have to play a little safe here. They can score if they want to. Obviously, they've had no problem moving the football. But how much time can you take off the clock before you score is the real question.
You know, they started this drive 8:50 left on the clock. There's under 5.5 now. I'd say if they put it in the end zone, even if Monroe comes back, scores a touchdown right after that, I'd still think we're going to be sitting fairly pretty. But we'll see.
We're in a safe spot. Byron Jarrett, quarterback keeper, break a man open.
Man.
Big dog.
Look at that. Byron Jarrett, the big boy, hurdling over people. Holy cow.
Wow.
He didn't go much further after the hurdle, but
huge, huge. 28-21. 4:45 remains. It's another first down for the Iowa Central Tritons. Set up inside the 10-yard line. It's a 1st and goal for number 7 and his clan over there, and it's looking like it's going to be called as a timeout.
Timeout. Their first.
It's going to be a timeout called on the Mustang side. 4.5 minutes remain. The score 28-21. Right? How can the Tritons finish this game out and come away with the victory in today's matchup?
I think, honestly, the only thing that the Tritons need to worry about right now is putting the ball in the end zone one more time. You know, they put the ball in the end zone once more. They'll go up 2 scores, you know, with under 4.5 minutes left by the time, you know, they get the extra point, the kickoff taken care of. And I think if they put the ball in the end zone one more time, this game is probably going to be, you know, sealed with a wax seal, and the fat lady's going to be singing. But we'll have to wait and see. You know, they might not be in quite as great a position if they don't come away with a score here. Even a field goal might put things just barely out of reach for Monroe, because I think, you know, by the time they score a touchdown or they kick a field goal, by the time, even if Monroe comes back, scores another touchdown, Tritons are going to have plenty of time, for lack of a better phrase, plenty of time to run out time.
Yeah.
On the clock here.
Well, let's watch it now. We see a pistol formation. It's a bunch set with 2 tailbacks. It's going to be a speed option. Byron Jarrett calling his own number. He's going to be tackled down for a loss of about 5.
That was honestly great defense there played by Monroe. Tritons have ran that play a few times now, and it's worked quite a few times. Not that time, down by the goal line. Well, once again, well within field goal range. So there can at least be 3 up there. We do have a flag down on the play.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 53 of the defense.
We'll take that all day long.
This is to go, automatic first down.
Automatic first down for the Iowa Central Tritons after the face mask was called. Tritons are cheering. They're loud and proud for their boys in blue. They're going to be inside the 5-yard line. It's a 1st and goal for IC3.
You know, I think it's required they put it in the end zone now. You know, they catch a break, you know, 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line.
If Bodie gets a handoff here, I think you could seal an MVP sticker to his helmet. Oh, he'll be drugged back down to the earth's surface. Oh, got clothesline down there.
I don't think they caught a face mask on that one. I think it might have just been a wrap up around the neck there. So I don't think they'll get the call for that one.
4 minutes remain in this one. Monroe looking like they may lose their first game of the 2021 season.
Yep, he was just kind of clothesline brought down by his neck there. Under 3:50 left to go. 2nd goal, gets the handoff one more time. It'll be Byron Jarrett.
Here we go. He's going to call his own number, reaching forward.
He's close.
He wants that Russian touchdown so
he
bad,
wants it
you can
so
tell.
bad. Looks like they're probably going to... Oh, they're bringing back in that same set they had on the goal line. Down on the other end.
Yes, sir.
I think they might try it once more, Hank.
So what's so fun about this is our defensive lineman, Tristan Law, is out there. And he stands alongside another defensive lineman, Kenny Givens.
Big corn-fed boys out there.
43-44, these Iowa guys got a lot of thickness to them. They are just inches away from punching it in. 3rd and goal.
Monroe knows exactly what's about to happen, and that doesn't matter. It's just
timeout. Iowa Central, they're first.
I'll take a timeout here. See, they don't. It doesn't matter if they know what's happening. It just matters if they can stop it or not.
Yeah. So far, Tritons have been excellent to start the second half. I told you, folks, their biggest enemy were themselves in the first half. I did sincerely believe the Tritons were playing much better than Applewhite and Monroe College, and it's looking like they may pull away with the victory.
Would be nice to hand Monroe their first loss of the season. See if Iowa Central can close this game out with a W. Now under 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. They're still up by a score, and they've still got the ball down by the goal line. The more and more seconds that come off the clock is less and less time that Monroe can somehow come back and score another one. I'd say if Iowa Central makes it a 2-possession game here, it's probably going to be over and done with, but miracles can happen.
Still waiting for the call. They're going to send the same formation out there. Let's see if they have a direct snap to anyone. In particular, it's Byron Jarrett. He's going to leap over the goal line. Yes, sirree.
And
He'll
he'll get
plant
it.
on his own feet. That's another Iowa Central rushing touchdown. It's Byron Jarrett's first of the day.
Finally got what he wanted. He jumped over the line there and just took it.
Yes, sir.
Why bother running through the line when you can run over it? He did have that hurdle earlier in the game, so he's got some hops for sure.
Flag will be thrown over towards Byron Jarrett and the guys. Let's see what the call is. Possible unsportsmanlike, but
I'm going to guess that that's probably it. We'll be after the play, so it won't affect the touchdown. Probably a few words exchanged between teammates there. We'll see what they call it as. Over there talking to Coach Montalto now as the ref, explaining to him what happened. I can't even imagine that Coach Montalto would even give it a second thought.
yeah. As we got the guys doing burpees on the sideline.
Result plays a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct number 7 on the offense. Also, unsportsmanlike conduct number 80 on the offense. Both those penalties will be enforced in the kickoff. We'll try.
So how many penalty yards is that going to be then? They said both of them enforced on the kickoff.
So that's going to bring it down. It'll be interesting to see. Really, usually with the 1, they bring it to 15, and then it kind of goes for the NJCAA ruling. They may bring them back an extra 5 to 10 yards. Can't imagine it be 30.
I wouldn't say, but 35-21, 2:54 left to play in the fourth quarter. What do you think, Hank?
I'm happy to be a Triton. 3 minutes remain. Folks, it's been a great day. Seriously, this football team means a lot to me. This is the first team I got a broadcast for at the collegiate level, and I would just be so proud to see them go out with another Graphic Edge Bowl victory.
Absolutely. My first college team as well. It's unbelievable to say, 18 years old broadcasting playoff college football.
The 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties are number 7 and number 80. It's a 15-yard penalty from the kickoff. They'll kick off from the 20-yard line.
So they'll just call it down as a 15-yard penalty.
And they will kick off from their own 20, which at this point isn't the worst thing in the world.
No.
By any means at all, but
very deep kickoff. Colin Swigman has his work cut out for him. Under 3 minutes to play, the score 35-21. There's still room to come back for these Monroe Mustangs. Let's see if they can do it in crunch time.
And I can see Coach Montalto and Byron Jarrett down there joshing around on the sideline about that. I saw Coach Montalto come up, just kind of throw his hands in the air, and Byron was like, "Oh well,
Yep.
I don't know what you want me to do, Coach. I was too excited."
I got the touchdown, Coach. It's going to go out wide now. Is Iowa Central going to track down the runner? He's going to trip over himself before a Triton can get there. Monroe College going to set up on their own 33-yard line.
Once again, Turf Monster reeling his ugly head.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up for both teams today.
2:50 remains in the fourth quarter, 35-21. This could be the final offensive drive for Applewhite and the guys in white if they don't score here. Looking at our timeouts, each team has a total of 2 remaining.
We'll see. What do you think, Hank? Let me give you a situation here. If they get down, within the 20, they got a 4th down opportunity. Think they're going to go for it or kick the field goal here?
I don't know. With 2 timeouts, without the 2-minute warning, it's going to be tough, and that's not a good start as they don't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Going to be a loss of 1 because of the guy with the long flowing hair, Bryant Barrier.
Out there looking like Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
Playing like him, too. Physical kid. bring up a, oh, I guess they will call him back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9. Officially 2nd and 8, excuse me.
So shotgun formation. Applewhite's back to pass. He's looking long. He'll have to step up. He'll shovel the pass down to Booker. Booker going to make his way forward. He'll stay up after he got blasted by Tristan Wall.
Timeout, Monroe, first, second.
I'm not sure what the reason behind that was.
Well, you know, it'll be a 3rd down, and really you got to think about this. Do you want to play it short and try to get out of bounds, or do you want to take a shot deep, maybe twice, and see if that kind of sets your fate for the rest of this game? Because now you're at the point of the game where if the Tritons get the ball back, they can run out the clock with just 1 first down.
Absolutely.
So it's a huge, huge possession for them right here, obviously. That's the obvious case. But how they attack the rest of this game, it's going to go to show how they will. I'm going to be interesting to see what they come out in. Haven't seen any trick plays come off of their end this entire game. Surprises me a little bit that we haven't.
You know, and this is 3rd and 3. It's not like, you know, 3rd and 10 obvious passing situation or a 3rd and inches where you can probably get away with a QB run up the middle. This is something you really got to think about and delegate on, whether you want to, you know, heave the ball up downfield or take the check down pass or just go for the handoff up the sides.
2 minutes remain. Here we go with Applewhite. He will fire a short dump-off pass. It's a curl route. I don't even think it was close enough to get to a first down. Was it hauled in right?
It was not. They will call that an incomplete pass all the way. Bounced right off the ground up into his hands, right off the turf. And that'll bring up 4th and 3. We'll
Folks,
see what they do here.
I'll tell you what, you got to make sure you stick around for the rest of this broadcast. We're going to have the winning ceremony from the winning side. We'll announce the player of the game, and I think Lauren is even going to get an interview with the player of the game. We do not yet know who it is. I'll make sure to announce it as soon as possible. Rolling outside, here we go. Roman to his left, running up the middle of the field. No siree,
No
or
way.
Well, it was very close.
It was close.
Triton's
We'll see.
trying to say no, but he reached his arm out at the last second. He might have got it.
See what they call it. No.
They will.
They'll call it a first down. They're not even going to give it a measurement either. I figured they would at least measure that.
That was close. At first, I didn't think he got it, but after that second effort, I had to reel myself back.
Maybe.
Anyway, here comes Applewhite looking
bomb.
deep. It's to Hicks. Oh, big play. DPI going to be called against Deontay Nelson.
And that's one of those plays, you know, spot of the foul plays that's rough. And, you know, sometimes that's the only thing that they're going for there. Is all that they're trying to do is draw that.
Number 9 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
All they're trying to do is draw that PI call, get an extra 30, 35 yards on the play.
A minute and a half remains. We're still in the fourth quarter.
They won't call it from the spot of the foul, though.
No, they'll just give him half the distance. So it's going to be down on the 41-yard line. Applewhite and the guys in white still have a shot. Very close game. Here we go now. Shelton Jr. looking up, looking long. No, he's going to fire a dump now to the backup tailback, working his way outside. He's going to have to run out of bounds with it if he wants to stop the clock. He will go out of bounds untouched. He'll pick up more than enough needed for another Mustang first down. Mustangs showing their horsepower at the end of this one. Where was this firepower at the beginning of the third quarter or fourth quarter?
I don't know. They're starting to reel back now, but they're still down by 2 scores and 2 touchdowns at that. Not a touchdown and a field goal. They've got to get something going here. Minute 20 left. They've got to have 2 touchdowns, and I'm just not sure that they can do that in the time that they have left.
Tell Lauren 25.
Applewhite will drop back to pass. And will fall incomplete on first down and 10. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 now.
So we're looking down. A minute and 15 seconds remain for Applewhite and the guys. Man, got to take a few more shots to the end zone. This could be good as gold.
We'll see what they decide to do here on 2nd down and 10. I'm not sure. You know, sitting right on the red zone line, 25-yard line. They've got to get something going here. I don't know. One running back in the backfield. 2 receivers on each side. He'll drop back to pass. He's looking to his left, now looking to his right, throwing over the middle, and he'll have a receiver wide open.
Breaking
He's not down yet.
tackles.
Breaking tackles.
Like a pinball machine bouncing off Tritons.
Looked like he was initially right around the 5-yard line. We'll see where they spotted at. Not quite sure where it was. They'll call it 1st and goal at the 7 now. And it looks like they'll elect to spike the ball down, get rid of that 1st down and goal in exchange for a stopped clock.
So far, the Tritons been dominant on defense. Let's see if they can pull through and get it done.
We'll see. 2nd down and goal from the 7 now. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, 1 in the backfield. He'll take a shot to the end zone, tipped. That pass tipped by Garrett Olendike of the Iowa Central defense. Almost had the interception there right off his fingertips. 59 seconds left to play in the 4th quarter. Your score remains 35-21. Tritons are up, and I don't know, Hank, it's getting closer and closer. I don't think there's enough time to put 2 more touchdowns on the board. Maybe if they get a fumble recovery on the kickoff, just maybe, but
yeah,
it's not looking like it.
Still possible, that's for sure. Otherwise, we're looking down here at these guys. Looking through the end zone, nearly caught, was it?
It was.
Oh my goodness.
They'll call it good. That'll be 35-27. Now will be your score after that. Oh, they accidentally put it up there on the scoreboard for a Tritons touchdown, but it is not. 35-27, 52 seconds left to play in the 4th quarter, and they're still down by 1 touchdown. It doesn't look like they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. It's just not worth it at this point. Maybe if they got that next score, they could go for the 2-point conversion, but and it'll go up, and it'll go right off.
The crossbar.
Off the crossbar, and no good. That seals their fate right there. I'm calling game over now. 35-27. Now
Luck is not in their favor.
Now they have to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie the game.
Wow.
And I don't see that happening. Tritons are going to take back over on offense here. 52 seconds left to play in the 4th quarter. And it's looking like Monroe's going to have their first loss of the season.
Very well so. So far, Triton defense been dominant this entire broadcast. I've been very impressed with them, especially in the 1st half. They came together in the 2nd half. They almost let up a comeback in the 4th quarter. Game's not over, though. I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself.
You know, and Tritons have only lost 2 games this year, and those 2 games have been to their in-state rivals, number 1 in the country, Iowa Western, the Reavers. Tough football team, but I don't think Monroe's going to get the best of them today.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see here. Montalto down on the field trying to move his guys into the right position. It looks like we're going to have an attempted onside kick here, which would make sense.
I'm going to name off the front 5 for you guys. Jordan Cum, I see, is out there. I see Hazlitt. I see Cal Wiedemann. I see Dalen Bodie. Running back 25. And it's going to be recovered by Cal Wiedemann.
And a flag thrown. Did it not quite go 10 yards? Is that what they're going to call on that? I'm not sure. It might be something else.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered if
since
the Tritons recovered it.
Not quite sure what they're going to call for that. I don't know. I guess I didn't see anything happen.
Offside, kicking team number 49. That 5-yard penalty be added on for recovery. 1st down, Iowa Central.
Here we go. Get the trophy ready.
Just kicking them while they're down at this point.
Iowa Central Tritons. Don't want to have a spoiler ahead for you folks, but here we come out in the victory formation.
No, go ahead. Put it in the end zone one more time.
No. Oh, no.
Don't want to risk anything.
So that's going to mean that Coach Montalto and the boys in blue going to move to 4-0 under the helm of his head coaching ship here for the Iowa Central Tritons.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you
You're
there,
good.
Hank. As you can see down there on the field, Iowa Central players as well as Mustangs players down there shaking hands already. before the time has ran out. Still 40 seconds left on the clock, and they're all high-fiving and stuff already. They still have to do one more play. But as we mentioned earlier, when Byron Jarrett was helping up an opposing player from Monroe, absolute just wonderful sportsmanship being displayed today. And, you know, even after a hard-fought game by the Mustangs, they're still shaking hands even before the game is officially over. But that will do it. That'll be the last kneel down of the game. Final score, 35-27 in favor of your Iowa Central Tritons, and they'll take home the trophy today as Graphic Edge Bowl champions.
Wow.
Coach is getting sprayed with water bottles down there.
Look at all the defensive players going over towards Coach Young. Great way. You know, Coach Conley, big shout out to Coach Conley. Coach Conley has led one of the best defenses in the whole entire nation. I'm really sorry to hear that he had to sit out today due to COVID-19.
Absolutely.
But big props to Coach Young. He's our defensive backs coach. He came in to replace him as our defensive coordinator, held one of the best teams in all of the NJCAA to just 27 points. And those final scores at the end of the game were in very big crunch time. 35-27, like you said, is the final score of the game. I'm super stoked by it. And also, I heard that we got some of the offensive and defensive MVPs coming our way. I'm yet to announce it there, but once we get them to our broadcast booth, I'll make sure to announce them. And I believe Lauren Potter is going to be having an interview with our offensive MVP in just a moment here. But folks, just hang tight, because me and Wright, we're going to break down the game after we look down at the celebration. Look at the guys going down there celebrating. It's a swarm of blue, a sea of blue over in the Panthers' purple end zone.
Iowa Central players still over around midfield, shaking hands and hugging opposing players there naturally. Last game of the season, you know, there's guys that are going to be graduating and not play at the collegiate level anymore, and it's great to see that level of sportsmanship coming out, especially at a championship game like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, once again, big props to Monroe Community College, I'd like to say, before we get anywhere else in the broadcast. Or here we go with the post-game ceremony, actually. I'll get to that in just a second. I want to hear what Brownie has to say about the MVPs on the offensive and defensive side. We're still waiting on the call.
First of all, we would like to recognize our offensive and defensive players of the game for the 2021 Graphic Edge Bowl.
As he's coming on to the field to announce right now.
Your 2021 Graphic Edge Bowl defensive MVP is Nick Evans from Monroe.
As Monroe going to be awarded the Defensive MVP award, Nick Evans. He's the guy that led them with 7 tackles in the first half, got injured in the second half, but came back in. He's a defensive lineman. Congrats to Nick Evans, man. What a great day. He was throwing some of our offensive linemen around throughout the whole game, so big props to you, my man.
I've got a fairly decent guess as to who the offensive player of the game is going to be.
Here it comes. Dalen Bodie, the star running back for the Iowa Central Tritons, one of my favorite players on this Iowa Central team. Wow, you deserve it, Bodie. You deserve it, my big man. I'm so proud of you. Way to go out there and become the offensive MVP for the Iowa Central Tritons. Been a big day for the Iowa Central Tritons. You know, Lauren's going to sit down with Dalen Bodie in a little bit here, but folks, how about we do the post-game report, right?
Well, I mean, wasn't even necessarily a dominating performance today. You know, both teams were playing to the highest of their abilities, and, you know, Iowa Central just happened to play a little bit better in the second half than Monroe did, and they came out with the win. You know, Monroe coming into this game had a few very, very notable wins, including, you know, beating Nassau Community College, who is the #1 team in the nation in D3, as well as Georgia Military Academy earlier this year, who's currently ranked 12th in the nation in JUCO. But like I said, I think Iowa Central just outplayed them in the second half, got up by 2 scores, went down, got up again, and it was just all over at that point. There was no time for Monroe to come back, and maybe they would have came back if they had, you know, 2, 3, 4 minutes more on the clock left, but they just couldn't get it done, and Iowa Central, you know, just outplayed them today overall on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the Tritons came in as the champions. Here we are. right now getting the announcement on the field over on Sheriff Field as they hold up the trophy on their respective side. That's yet another Graphic Edge Bowl trophy that they're going to bring home to Fort Dodge, Iowa. Congratulations to your 2021 Graphic Edge Bowl champions, the Iowa Central Tritons. And, of course, also playing in the bowl game, Monroe Community College. Like you mentioned, went undefeated on the season. Had a great time broadcasting with you today, right? And I tell you what, folks, we're still looking down. I want to go through some of the numbers. 35-27, the final score. The first touchdown came with Iowa Central. It was a little dump-off pass, of course. Went over towards Cal Wiedemann, about a 10-yard receiving touchdown. He was very involved on the offense. I think he led the way in total receiving and receptions. I'll get into that little later. And then in the second quarter, we had just one touchdown as well. It was from Monroe Community College, sending it over to that toe drag swag over there down deep into their own end zone. It was a great pass. It was off of the hands of Jalen Rose Hanna. That's what brought the score to be tied, 7-7 at halftime. Heading into the third quarter, the most productive by the Iowa Central Tritons. Started off with 2 touchdowns, and they were both from Dalen Bodie, your offensive MVP. Both of them rushing touchdowns, and then after that, to top off the third quarter, Isaiah Hazlitt had himself a beautiful touchdown. His first reception of the game was good for nearly 20 yards, broke a tackle, ran his way outside, and hollied his way in to the end zone. What a player. He's a freshman. He's a guy we're going to see next year. Going to have a bright future for the Iowa Central Tritons. And then we had one touchdown being scored on Monroe's side as well. It was actually, in fact, a pass from, to Jamari Robinson. Jamari Robinson held it in from Applewhite, and then heading into the fourth and final quarter to play, we're looking down at the touchdowns there, the Iowa Central Tritons. They got into the end zone once more, and it was because Byron Jarrett punched it right in.
Absolutely.
And then we saw 13 points being scored on Monroe's side. They tried to come back late into the game to try and score and punch it in right at the end. Shelton Applewhite Jr., he had another passing touchdown. That time it was to Rashawn Tompkins. As that went over, it went in, but that was the time that they missed the PAT, of course.
Yeah.
And then another touchdown to Lamarcus Brand to finish up the game. That's what brought the score 35-27 for the final score of the game. And of course, after that, the Tritons, they just had to get that onside recovery and get it to go their way. So yeah, it went in. So it was really good for them. The Iowa Central Tritons, of course, what a great time it was. So I tell you what, Lauren, she has an interview coming up with the offensive MVP here with Dalen Bodie here. So we're about to send it down to them in just a few moments here. So I tell you what, Lauren Potter, if you would, go ahead and take it away with our offensive MVP. I had to string that out.
That's a huge achievement on its own, and in particular for a bowl game. First things first, how are you feeling?
Feeling real good, I'm happy we got the dub, happy for my team. We've been working a lot just to get here, COVID season. We've been busting our ass for real, but it just feels real good. I'm very excited right now. I'm
glad to hear it. So you've got 96 rushing yards, 2 receptions, and 2 touchdowns, and you're ending your Iowa Central career on this, correct?
We don't know yet. That's to be continued. We never know.
Oh, so there's a little bit more to this then. Okay. Is this supposed to be a secret under wraps? Should I not go into any more depth on this?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming down here and agreeing to talk with us. Is there anything else that you want to say as we close up?
Go Tritons!
An excellent ending. Thank you so much. And from all of us down here on the sidelines, thanks for tuning in.
Is she clear? Is she clear? Hobby, is she clear? Hobby, is she clear? Clear.
Got it.
Yes. No. Stay. Bring your heads in. We gotta wait for them to wrap up. So they'll tell you when everything's clear.
So once again, Hank and Wright Hillpipe are on the call for this game. I'd like to thank everyone for checking out the broadcast today on Triton Nation Network. You know, but first, before we sign off, I want to talk about our defense. Came up in a big way, forced one turnover. Deontay Nelson had that interception to go against Applewhite, who was a guy that barely threw any interceptions on the year, had a huge pick. The Tritons, they did commit a total of 4 turnovers. I think it was 3 fumbles and then 1 interception off of Byron Jarrett's throw. Other than that, I want to talk about our defense a little bit. Leading the way in solo tackles for the day, Dakari Randall. He's our middle linebacker for the team, wears number 15, and he's a bloodhound.
Absolutely.
He tracks you down, and he messes you up. You do not want to be involved with him. He also led the way in total tackles with 8. Garrett Oldendijk followed him with 5, with Bryant Barrier. Those were our 3 linebackers. Big props to our linebackers, of course, today. Garrett Oldendijk, Dakari Randall both had 2 tackles for a loss on the day as well. And what a great day. What a great day for them. Looking down at sacks now, Garrett Oldendijk had 2. Heading into the day, of course, and then looking down now, going to our pass defense. Pass breakups, gonna be held by Major Williams. He had 2. Other than that, we had Deontay Nelson with 1, Garrett Oldendijk with 1, Bayal Kone with 1, and Deontay Bryant with 1. And of course, I already mentioned it, but Deontay Nelson had that huge interception that went for him. And that's gonna wrap up the Iowa Central stats so far. I do believe that the offensive and defensive MVP were very well deserving as we look at the defensive MVP stats from the other side as it went down to Evans. He had a total of 10 tackles on the day, 6 solo tackles, and he was also involved on 3 sacks. Those 3 sacks early going against Byron Jarrett really did a number on him. Otherwise, folks, I got to tell you, I've had a great time broadcasting with my buddy Wright. What do you think about the closing parts of the game?
I think that overall, Iowa Central just outplayed them in every aspect of the game, and I know what it feels like to be down there after the last game of the season, the last game that the last football game that you're probably ever going to play in. Being down there, hanging out with all your friends. I know how it feels to be on that side of it, and I know how it feels to be on the other side of it. On how Monroe's feeling right now. Obviously, a very, very emotional time for all those players, all those sophomores that aren't going to be returning next year, and obviously it's a very happy time. But it's bittersweet, you know what I mean, for all those Iowa Central sophomores who aren't going to be coming back next year. They end their season off with a win, had a great season, 9-3. Monroe finishes their season 10-1. So it's great to see all the love and support by both teams as Monroe stayed out there for the ceremony for Iowa Central and gave everybody some handshakes and some hugs. But like I said, just a very, very bittersweet moment on both sides of the football.
So 35-27 is your final score. Before we go, I'd like to thank my boys in the booth and our girls. We had some girls as well here. Lauren Potter and Wright, you guys helped me with the commentary and the personality duties. Thank you so much for you guys. We had a lot of great camera work down there. Brandon, we had Owen, we had Link, and we also had Parker. Javi, the producer of the show, the big man, produced the show for us today. Clint came down, a former student of us. He helped us out with the broadcast as well as assistant. Lauren, of course, not a student with us anymore, but she helped out on the sideline. Rusty and Kia for waking us all up, getting us going early, getting us set up. I've had a great time, of course. And also, I'm very grateful and thankful for this Iowa Central football program. Like I said, I got my start in broadcasting through football, and this Iowa Central football team has been so good to me. They've taken me in right under their wing, and I can tell that any person to join this football program, you will truly feel the brotherly love of being an Iowa Central Triton. Coach Montalto easily has been my favorite coach to interview throughout my weekly coaches show. He's a guy that always has my back and always helps me out with my broadcast, so very, very grateful for them. So once again, shout out to those guys. Shout out to Iowa Central. Congratulations to Iowa Central. And, once again, thank you for everyone for checking out the broadcast. But that's going to be it for the 2021 Triton football season. You've been listening to Hank Ambrose and Wright Hillpiper on the call for the Iowa Central Tritons. Otherwise, folks, we're going to be signing off and heading into the winter sports season. Otherwise, until next time, we'll see you here on Triton Nation Sports Network.